It was not a lot of fun. I felt bad. Tony was a little bit sick at the end of that weekend as well. He was going solo. He did a fantastic job. He is here with us tonight as well. Both of us back in action. Excited for tonight's rematch of yesterday's game, and that was a good one at that. A 6-5 win for the Roughriders in overtime. A lot of goals, a lot of action, and we're excited to see what it brings tonight. It's a Dupaco Cowboy Cup matchup, of course, and these teams also play tomorrow, so if they're sick and tired of each other tonight, well, they have to suck it up. They play tomorrow against each other at 4:05, I believe is the starting time. A little bit earlier, early after, or I guess around the afternoon, early evening slate right there. But we're excited for that one as well. But we got to get through tonight's game, and the Bucks and Roughriders, like I said, in game 2 of 3 this weekend against each other. And this is game 6 of 8 on the season between the teams, and the Bucks. They're 1-2-2 against the Roughriders, and their one win against them was that buzzer beater that Deladonna scored up in Cedar Rapids, and that was a electric goal, just last second on the clock, puts it home, and that's the only win the Bucks have against the Roughriders this season. The Bucks at home, they're winless against the Roughriders, 0-1-1. They have a chance tonight, and they also play them one more time this season at home. That will be on April 4th. So Bucks still have plenty of opportunities to try to pick up that first win at home against the Roughriders this season. Now the Buccaneers, as of recent, they have been struggling mightily, and they have 2 wins in their last 14 games. And in that 14-game stretch, they're 2-10-2-0. So 2 wins, 10 losses, and 2 losses in that extra time, including one last night. But both of those Bucks wins, they were very solid. We had the Sioux City win 6-4, where their offense came to life, scoring goals left and right. And then we had their one last weekend where I was texting Tony throughout the game. They picked up the first comeback win the season after being down by 2 or more goals against a Sioux Falls team who made the playoffs last weekend, who qualified for the playoffs, rather. So Sioux Falls, very good team. Bucks picked up a very good win against them, and we're looking to pick up some points tonight. Now, these teams did play yesterday, like I brought up earlier, a very solid game. Let's take a quick look at what happened in that game yesterday. It was in Cedar Rapids. The Buccaneers traveled up northeast there and picked up a point in an overtime loss, a 6-5 overtime loss for the Buccaneers. And I have this put down next to an action-packed game because that's exactly what it was. And it started off early. A 5-goal first period. And the Bucks, they kicked off the first 2 goals in that period. Reese Shaw opened up scoring from Seelinger and Yastrzemski. And then Deladonna extended the lead to 2-0, with Brizgalov getting the assist on that. But then Cedar Rapids, they responded with 3 straight goals in the first period. Charles Blanchard from Vig in Romeo, Martin Massa from Hajibi, and Heath Nelson from Burleson gave the Roughriders a 1-goal lead heading into that first intermission. And then if you thought it would slow down, well, it didn't. 4 goals in the second period. Amin Hajibi scores the next 2 goals for the Roughriders. The first one from Ostapovich and Fenton. And then the second one was actually the Roughriders' 5th consecutive goal from Ulvebny and Fenton. The Buccaneers were reeling a little bit. 5 straight goals allowed after having a 2-0 lead. But you're not supposed to count out teams when they're down. And Bucks, great effort here. 2 goals in the second period. Zielinski from Kernan, and then Shaw with the second goal of the night from Seelinger and Peppenberg. And just like that, the Bucks were down 1 heading into the third on the power play. And Jack Kernan on the power play ties the game from Clark and Keevan. But then, unfortunately for the Buccaneers in overtime, Heath Nelson snuck through the D, got a nice look in on Sequinless Carbo, put it home, game winner. Heath Nelson from Vig, who picked up his 2nd assist. So it was a very good game, a lot of goals, kind of a goalie's worst nightmare, defenseman's worst nightmare, but a lot of points being dished out. We had a lot of multi-point games in that game as well. For the Bucks, Kernan had a goal and an assist. Reese Shaw had 2 goals, his first multi-goal game of his career in the USHL, and then Ryan Seelinger with 2 assists for the Bucks. Now for the Roughriders, Maxim Vig had 2 assists. Amina Jibi, 3 points, 2 assists and a goal. And then we had Heath Nelson, game-winning goal in overtime. He had 2 goals And Joseph Fenton, 2 assists. So a lot of multi-point games. A very good game at that as well. Now, besides the goal scoring, there is a couple other interesting storylines in that game as well. Ryan Kroll fought Garen Slezak, and then in that second period, Garen Slezak hit Yashevsky up high, and after a lengthy review, it was deemed that there was head contact there significant enough for him to get a 5 in a game misconduct for head contact. So Garen Slezak, I left the game early in that game, gave the Bucks a 5-minute power play. They ended up scoring that power play goal at the beginning of the third period, and Garen Slezak is in for tonight's game. He leads the USHL in penalty minutes, so he is no stranger to taking a couple penalties, but we're glad that Yashevsky is okay after taking that high hit and deemed not worthy of a suspension, which is always good to see as well. The Bucks, 1 for 6 on the power play last night, 2 for 2 on the PK. Good PK night for them. A lot of looks on the power play with the man up. AJ Raelt stopped 22 of 27, and Elliot Sequin-Escarbo stopped 24 of 30. Now let's look at the road ahead. The next time these teams play, and when that is, well, tomorrow is the next time these teams play, and it's against each other. It's a 4:05 start in Cedar Rapids tomorrow for Game 3 of 3 between the teams this weekend. And then the Buccaneers, a little bit of a road trip. We'll see. They'll go to Dubuque, then they'll go to Omaha before we have them back home for Waterloo Blackhawks on a Tuesday, March 25th. And then we'll see the U18s here at home that weekend as well before they head out to Lincoln. So that's what the road ahead looks like for the Des Moines Buccaneers. The final time the Bucks and the Roughriders play, like I mentioned earlier, is April 4th. So tomorrow's their 7th matchup against each other this season, and then their 8th and final April 4th. So these teams, they're going to get plenty of time against each other. All right, let's look at the matchup. How do they match up against each other? Well, let's start in goal. In goal tonight for the visiting Roughriders, we have Devin Russley. Devin Russley on the season. He has a .861 save percentage and 3.77 goals against average. For the Bucks tonight, Max Weilet gets the start. He is 12-10-2 with a 3.18 goals against average and a .883 save percentage. Now, how do the teams match up? Well, the Roughriders, they sit at 6th in the Eastern Conference with a 22-24-1-2 record. Good for 47 points and 6th in the East, like I said. The special teams are their biggest struggle, and it's been like that kind of all season long. 13th on the power play with a 17.2%, 15th on the PK with a 73.5%. Meanwhile, the Bucks, 19-29, 4-0 on the season, 42 points, 7th in the West. The Bucks power play puts them at 10th in the USHL, sitting at that 22.29%, and the Bucks PK 12th in the USHL, sit at 74.15%. The top scorers for each team, Cedar Rapids is Amin Hajibi, 15 goals, 31 assists, and his 46 points, so he ties him 12th in the USHL for points, and his 31 assists ties him 8th in the USHL for points. Daniel Ostapovich is second in scoring with 16 goals, 23 assists, and then John McNellis, the new guy in town, 14 goals, 20 assists on the season, rounds out the top 3 in scoring for them. For the Bucks, Jack Kernan leads the way with 25 goals and 21 assists. His 46 points, well, it ties him with Amin Hajibi for 12th in the USHL, and his 25 goals ties him 3rd. And fun fact about Jack Kernan, this season, 25 goals for him. Last year, he had 27 points in total. So just a great offensive year for him this season. A lot of goals, a lot of points. He is spearheading the Buccaneers in scoring. Then Ben Keevan, he is next in line, 12 goals, 26 assists. His 26 assists ties him 18th in the USHL. And then Andrew Clark rounds out the top 3, 17 goals, 18 assists. Starting lineups for each team tonight, we'll start with the visiting Cedar Rapids Roughriders. Up front, we have Amin Hajibi, Hans Martin Jovemny, and Simon Sadel getting the start. On defense, Maxon Vig on the left side, Hawk Huff on the right, and then in net, Devin Russley. For the Buccaneers, the Jacob Yastrzemski, Reese Shaw, and Ryan Seelinger line gets the start. Each of those players for the Bucks, the forward line that's starting, got a point last night. Yastrzemski had an assist. Reese Shaw had two goals, his first multi-goal performance of his USHL career. And Ryan Seelinger, 2 assists. So that line, fantastic job yesterday. They'll get the start tonight. Richard Barron and Brant Harper get the start on defense. And then Max Weiland gets the nod in net. Scratches for each team tonight. Roughriders, their scratches include Robert Schland, Noel Ogren, and Dylan Hunt. For the Buccaneers, Keaton Norrie, Dylan Moran, Harper Surlis, and Britton Alstead. Scratches for tonight's game. So a couple aside, and then the referees. Lastly, for tonight's game, the referees are Jaden Brignoni, William Fraser, and the linespersons are Jacob Rosenberg and Takaji St. Pierre. And just like that, that is where we sit for tonight's game. Those are the starting lineups. And right now, some other games in the USHL have started. So we'll take a look around the USHL, see what else is going on. We have out in Chicago, the Fargo Force head out to Chicago. And the Fargo Force, if you were keeping up with the trade deadline at all in the USHL, they made a ton of moves, shipped out their captain, Reed Davatilla. Sam Larilla, an alternate captain for them, got shipped out. They did a kind of a wholesale change over there in Fargo, but still projected to make the playoffs, still in a playoff position, and just a little bit of a retool heading on for the future for the Force. That game out there, 0-0. Now, when just started, a lot of the games I'm going to talk about, they're going to be 0-0. They would have started about, give or take, 10 minutes ago. Green Bay hosting USA Hockey. That was a spirited match last night. A ton of penalty minutes. Just a side note here. Just after the USHL day finishes, I like to go through, look at what happened in each game, look at who scored, look at the penalty minutes. If you're just ever curious or ever want to take a look at the penalty minutes in some of these games. There are a lot of hard-fought games, which just shows like what these games and what this league means to some of these players, which is always good to see. They like to fight. They don't like to give up easy, is what I'm getting at here. And Green Bay, one of those teams that's very physical, not afraid to shed the mitts a little bit there, and we saw it yesterday in their game against USA Hockey. Lincoln and Waterloo play in Lincoln. Lincoln, well, they made the playoffs recently. First team, I believe, in the USHL to clinch a playoff spot this season. Waterloo on the brink of clinching a playoff spot. Both teams are in the Western Conference, and Waterloo is sitting in that 3 spot, while Lincoln sits in that 1 spot. That's a battle of some titans there. 0-0 game there. Omaha hosts Tri-City, and if you're the Bucks, you're rooting for Omaha. You're rooting against Tri-City more than anything at this point. After last weekend, the Bucks lost both of the games against the Storm. It really put a gap in the standings between the Storm and the Bucks. It was a 8-point swing. It could have gone 4 points for the Bucks. Could have gone 4 points for the Storm. It could have gone 2 apiece, but it ended up being 4 points for the Storm last weekend, 0 for the Bucks in their head-to-head matchup. And the Storm swept the Bucks 4-0 in the season series. So that's a quick storyline that happened last weekend. I missed out on, unfortunately, as I was out sick. But Omaha hosting Tri-City in that game. And we have a battle of Sioux City and Sioux Falls. Those games are always spirited. That one's in Sioux City. That one, about 4 minutes underway. Of course, we have this game going on, 6:30 start. And then some of the top teams in the league. This one will be fun. Dubuque and Muskegon. They played last night. They played tonight. Dubuque, they clinched a playoff spot as well. They were the first team in the Eastern Conference to clinch a playoff spot. If we take a look at the standings real quick, as we only have a little over a month of the USHL regular season, which is kind of crazy to think about. Not a lot of games left for most teams. A lot of teams are running that 50-game played mark. About 12 games left, 13 games left for some teams here. In the East, Dubuque, they made the playoffs. They clinched a spot, rather. I believe it was yesterday in their win against the Muskegon Lumberjacks. The Phantoms sit in the 2 spot. This is the playoffs started today. Dubuque and Youngstown get the first round bye, and it'd be Madison and Cedar Rapids. So all the Cedar Rapids fans listening right now, you currently have a date set up with Madison if the playoffs started today. Madison, a very, very good hockey club. And then Muskegon and Green Bay. That would be a high penalty minute series there between those two teams. And then in the West, Lincoln and Sioux Falls each have already clinched playoff spots. They've hit that magic number. Waterloo is very close to clinching a playoff spot. And Lincoln Sioux Falls would have that first round bye if it started today. Things can change. You can never be too certain. Waterloo would play the Tri-City Storm, who hold the 6th spot, and it'd be Sioux City versus Fargo in the 4-5 matchup. Best of 3 series there, and the teams missing out on each side, it'd be USA Hockey and Chicago in the East, and right now it's Des Moines and Omaha in the West. Just about 9.5 minutes until puck dropped here at the Mid-American Energy Company Recplex. Rematch of last night's game and preview of tomorrow's game. A 3-game weekend against these teams, and like I mentioned earlier, it was a little chippy yesterday. We had Ryan Kroll and Garen Slezak throw the mitts down. They had a solid fight, and then Garen Slezak got 5 in a game misconduct for head contact on a hit to Jacob Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski's okay. Slezak in the lineup tonight, and we're excited to see what tonight's game brings us. Of course, as I brought up earlier, I'm more excited for this game because I was out last week. I missed out on 3 games, and I know Tony had to hold down the fort. I was talking to Tony about that. He was telling me some stories of last weekend. He had to hold down the fort all by himself, and he was doing a boatload of hockey games. And
I did a bunch load of hockey games last weekend, and I'm glad there's only one hockey game tonight. So
you'll get a little bit of a break. Just our one game tonight. I know neither Tony or I are going to be making the trip to Cedar Rapids tomorrow. I know we did 2 weeks ago.
Yep, we did 2 weeks ago, and just not able to go to it. I got a funeral to go to tomorrow, so going to take a break. Might go to Dubuque, not sure yet, but yeah, Eliza, thanks for coming back. Yeah, I had my hands full last weekend for sure.
Yeah, 3 games. Sioux Falls and Tri-City came to town. Good games at that. I mentioned earlier the Bucks' first time coming back from 2 goals down to win a game last weekend against the Stampede, who made the playoffs as well recently. So I guess a good team at that. And then Tri-City, 2 tough losses, as I was just mentioning. Could have been 4 points for the Bucks, could have been 4 for the Storm, an 8-point swing there, and 4 points went to the Storm. So the Bucks' playoff chances are looking pretty slim as of right now. If you're looking at the Western Conference, the Storm, they need 12 points to make the playoffs. The Bucks need 22. So as of now, the Bucks are outside looking in, and unless the Buccaneers can go on some sort of a run here and the Storm get on a collapse, it looks like we might have our playoff set, but you never know. Crazy things happen. I've seen crazy things happen in every league of hockey there is, and it's too early to count anybody out, but that's what the West looks like. And in the East, right now, Cedar Rapids, their magic number is 24, but luckily for them, USA Hockey in Chicago, they're falling a little bit in the standings, and the Roughriders, they have a comfortable lead over that 7-seed spot in the Eastern Conference. The Roughriders in prime position right now to make the playoffs unless they have a collapse of their own, or if USA Hockey or Chicago go on a bit of a run. Chicago and USA Hockey each are sitting at that 34-point mark to make the playoffs, with the Roughriders at 10 points ahead at 24. So you never know what happens. It's hockey. It's crazy. I've seen crazy things happen. So we'll see what happens. But like I mentioned, still a month until the season ends.
Sold out crowd tonight. Should be fun. Farmers Appreciation Night tonight, Eliza, and nice to see the farmers come out and get recognized, and we'll see how it goes. That sounds a lot better in my ears there, Eliza. Thank you.
Yeah, and special jerseys. As I see Winger going on the ice right now. He's wearing that special jersey. It's kind of like a plaid style too. I think pretty cool. They've had some pretty cool jerseys so far this year. I remember I was talking to Jack Kernan about a month or 2 ago. I asked him what his favorite jersey was they had, and he said the Christmas jersey. And I think the Bucks have done a fantastic job with their jerseys so far this season. And No, we had the Halloween jersey. We had the military appreciation night. Hockey fight cancer. We had, like I mentioned, the Christmas one. We have this one going on right now. I missed last weekend's special jersey, the Guns and Hoses jersey, but I'm probably missing one or two. There's been so many of them, man. Getting auctioned off after tonight's game, going to the cause, as the Buccaneers always do. And they have the special jerseys. They auction them off, donate the money. Just under 5 we have until puck drops. You know, I feel like I have to bring it up. For all the fans out there that pay attention to the NHL. I know I was talking to Tony about this earlier. He said he's not really followed the NHL this year. The trade deadline happened yesterday, and as a Boston Bruins fan, I'm a bit devastated. We traded away Brad Marchand. If you didn't hear about that, one of my all-time favorite players, just out of a gut punch. I was on X all afternoon, refreshing, keeping an eye on what was happening, and that news broke right at the deadline, and I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Eliza, I told you I was helping my son move today, and I got XM radio in my work truck, and on the way back or on the way the second load, I had the Boston Bruins and Rangers on, so I was thinking about you all day today. I'm not sure who won in that, but I think I was listening to the Rangers broadcasters. They do not like Boston Bruins at all.
I don't feel like a lot of people do.
Did they win today?
They surprisingly, you ship off so many players and start building for the future, and a 4-0 shutout against a solid Tampa team who people have projected to win it all. So I can't say I was disappointed with today's performance. Hope it can translate to the USHL. See the Bucks pick up some points after going on a bit of a skid. You know, similar situation to Boston, which it's kind of funny, where you're on a little bit of a skid. Right now, the Bucks 2-10-2 in their last 14 games, looking to pick up a win and just getting points, getting wins right now. Just build that confidence heading into tomorrow. Back in Cedar Rapids and against an interstate rival, a Dupaco rival. It's a Dupaco Cowboy Cup matchup. But I do believe the Fighting Saints, I'm pretty sure they did clinch the Dupaco Cowbell Cup since the last time I know we were in Cedar Rapids. And the Fighting Saints, if you just take a look, if you have any bit of time to look up the Dupaco Cowbell Cup history, who's won that, the Fighting Saints have really done a phenomenal job. They have almost all of the titles since that is kind of became a thing. So congrats to Dubuque for getting that this season. As we get the starting lineups. If you missed it earlier, the starting lineups for tonight, I'll start with the visiting team. The visitors for tonight, the Cedar Rapids Roughriders. Up front, Amin Hajibi, Hans Martin Yovebny, Simon Cedar get the start. On the back end, Max and Big, and Hawk Huff get the start, with Devin Rustley getting the start in net. For the Bucks, I brought this up earlier. It's a fun little thing I noticed. The Bucks forward line of Shaw, Yastrzemski, and Sealinger that get the start tonight. Each player's had a point last night. Yastrzemski an assist, Shaw 2 goals, and Sealinger 2 assists. They did fantastic last night. And then Barron and Harper, they get the start on defense, and then Weiland gets the nod in net.
Please stand and remove your caps. We honor America, the men and women of our armed forces, and all our veterans as Miss Iowa. Fatu Tiako proudly sings our national anthem.
And Miss Iowa singing the anthem tonight. It's always cool to see. Cool to get the support. But excited to be back tonight
Yes,
in
Eliza,
action.
thank you for being back. And we'll be going here shortly.
He's also a proud Iowa farmer. Please join me in welcoming Henry Schwartz for tonight's ceremonial puck drop. Thank you, Dave.
All right, the Buccaneers just about ready to drop the puck here. Buccaneers wearing their plaid jerseys. We'll say that tonight, Eliza. Going to your left on the screen, the Cedar Rapids Roughriders wearing their white jerseys and green. Going to your right on the screen. Like to welcome the Des Moines Buccaneer fans listening in that can't make it out to the game, and the Cedar Rapids Roughriders that tuning in to the broadcast. All right, looks like we're underway. 20 minutes up on the clock, 0-0 hockey game, and we're going to be underway. We'll see if there's any bad blood left over from last night. Buccaneers lose the face-off. Huff has it for the Roughriders, played on the near side, left-hand side. Just below the left-hand circle, Vig picks it up, sends it to the far side, off the far boards. Roughriders down on their defensive side of the ice. Back on the near side, right up through center ice. And dumped down in the Buccaneer end of the rink. Yadreski plays it for the Buccaneers off the half boards, down below the goal line. Back up to the near side from Shaw. Yadreski plays it left-hand side, dumps it in. All the way back out to center ice. Deladonna picks it up for the Buccaneers, walks it across the blue line. Roughriders pick it up on an interception. Played up on the near side, Fitton with it for the Roughriders, sends it all the way down off the inboard, sent over to the far side. Buccaneers pick it up, long pass up through central neutral zone. Played to the far side. Back down on the Buccaneers' defensive side of the ice. Drop pass back and behind Wylet. Buccaneers bring it up the right-hand side at the center ice line. 18:50 of the first period. Still looking for a first shot, first goal of the game. Roughriders with it in front of their own goaltender. Played up on the near side. To the far side, all the way down. Buick catches up to it. Icing waved off. Buccaneers play it on the far side. all the way up through center ice, across center ice line to the near side to Deladonna. Deladonna looking, shot just went up over the head of Rusley. Sent up through center ice. Now Harper back to chase after it for the Buccaneers. He beats him to it off the end boards. Laid on the near side by Buick. Even out there too. And the Roughriders not able to come up with it. The Buccaneers do. Up through center ice, across the blue line. Right out in front for Clark. Played by Kiss. Centering pass out front, broken up. Roughriders play it to the far side. Not able to clear it out. Clark plays it on the half boards. Back and forth it goes, and now Roughriders able to bring it out. Trying to get around Harper, sent to the far side. Harper rides it into the half boards on the left-hand circle. Buccaneers able to chip it up out of the zone all the way down into the Roughriders into the rink. Still waiting on the first shot from any one of the teams. Isles with it for the Roughriders. Sets up left-hand circle. Just shot wide of Wilet's right through the blue paint. Buccaneers back at it. 1-on-2. Comes back the other way. Intended for Kernan. Could not get a stick on it. Played to the near side. Back out to center ice. Keaton with it. Sends it back in. Roughriders pick it up. Played to the near side. Down below the goal line. Left-hand side all the way up. Loose puck. Kroll comes up with it for the Buccaneers. He sends it in. Hard hit by Kernan on Hiles. And Kernan's headed to the bench. And we get a whistle. 16:52 of the first period.
Some good looks by each team. We had Keevan just missed Kernan on that pass. Kernan outstretched stick just right by him. That would have been a very good opportunity for the Bucks if that was able to get on a stick there. But for now, it was just a one shot for the Buccaneers, and that's all.
Face off to the stick side. Rusley. Then over to the far side. Buccaneers pick it up. Down below the circles. Right up through the near side. Try to get around Peppenberg. They do. Roughriders come in on the right-hand side. Fires a shot. Never made it. Broken up by Buick. Shaw comes up with it. Intended for Sillinger. Right up through center ice. Buccaneers come in off sides. Back on the near side. Roughriders across the blue line. Sent to the far side. Off the half boards. Right on net. Nope. Went past the net. Did not get on net. Wilet without a save there. Back out through center ice. Roughriders with it on the left-hand side. Left circle. Hard hit. Flanger in there. Buccaneers pick it up in behind their own goaltender. Wilet. On the end boards. Back to play it as Buick. Tried to clear it out. Buccaneers aren't able to. Roughriders keep it in right at the blue line. And going to get a penalty? No penalty there. I thought we were going to get a holding penalty. Buccaneers, I think, got away with one there. And now there is the first penalty of the game. We'll see who it's going to be on.
Brizgalov. Yeah, Hajibi from behind right into the board is going to be a cross-check.
15:37 of the first period. Eliza, have they wore their neck guards all season? Every player has a neck guard on there. Maybe... I thought at the beginning of the season, USHL was going to have all the players wear a neck guard, but I heard there wasn't enough neck guards to go around for everybody, not only this league, but in hockey general. But
looks like Hajibi going to the box as well.
And up 2-2 up there. It's going to be 4-on-4 hockey here.
I wonder what he's going to the box for. As I was looking down, I didn't see what the official signaling was.
I'm still looking at the neck guards.
I think we'll play 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. So
Clark with the face-off for the Buccaneers.
We'll hear the official call in just a moment.
Yep. Buccaneers lose the face-off, gain it right back. Harper has it back to Clark. TV. Embellishment. Wow. Cross-checking on the Buccaneers. Back to the play here. Roughriders with it down the defensive side of the ice, sent over to the far side, all the way up through center ice. Popovich with it for the Rough Riders. High slot, not able to pull the trigger. Nelson with it, fires it, just goes wide. Buccaneers come up with it off the inboards. Barron has it for the Buccaneers. Full head of steam, right up through the neutral zone, right through the Buccaneer logo. Backhands it in. Russley leads there. Oh, Russley. We've seen that multiple times off that inboards. It comes off funny off that inboards in behind the visitor goaltender on the far side. Shot on net. Wylet with a save. And it just about caught Russley there. As if that was shot a little bit harder, that would have came right back out in front, right in front of the empty net. And I think we've seen that a few times this year already.
Yeah, we saw it happen against the Musketeers when Max Wylet, he went about to play at the beginning of the second period, and it just shot right back out in front of the net. And it's just, you got to be careful with those end boards. You never know. They're pretty lively here sometimes. So as a goalie, you got to keep that in the back of your mind. And I guess if you're Wylet, you're lucky because you play here a lot more than Russley would be playing here. So you might be a little more apt to that happening.
Rough Riders win the faceoff, not able to keep it in the zone. Here comes Kernan, 4-on-4 hockey for another 54 seconds. Zelensky has it for the Buccaneers, sent over to the far side on the right-hand side. Down in the Buccaneers' offensive side of the ice, Rough Riders able to chip it up out of the zone. And now here comes the Rough Riders back the other direction, up through center ice. Mincy sends it down in, offsides on the Rough Riders. 14-15 left in the first period, 0-0 hockey game. Rodreski with the faceoff for the Buccaneers. Young with the faceoff for the Rough Riders. Rough Riders win the faceoff back to Huff to Fig. Laid to the far side, tied up by Harper. Rodreski in there trying to dig it out too. Yet to make it into the zone. Now the Rough Riders bring it in. They stayed onside. It was very, very close. Back out to Huff. Huff has it for the Rough Riders. Not able to hang on to it. Played by Birchill. Sent down in deep. Wylet leaves it there in behind his own cage. Sent to the far side to Harper. Back up through center ice it comes. Rodreski with it left-hand side. Top of the left-hand circles to the right circle. And intercepted by the Rough Riders. Here comes Rough Riders up out of the zone. Played on the near side. Huff with it for the Rough Riders. Steering pass right out in front. Young with a shot. Never made it to the net. And Barron picks it up in behind his own goaltender. Setting it up. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. 13:20 left in the first period. Still waiting on our first goal of the evening by either team. Barron up to near side to Deladonna. Deladonna sends it to the far side to Clark. Back to Deladonna. Down on the end boards. Very, very, very low shooting game here. 1-1. Now I think it's going to be 2-1 now as the Buccaneers put one on net. Blanchard with it for the Rough Riders on the left-hand side. That must not have made it on net. They did not credit him for a shot there. Back on the near side. Benton has it for the Rough Riders up through center ice. Blanchard couldn't hang on to it. The Buccaneers have it now. Briskaloff to the near side, and the Buccaneers come in offsides. 12:38 of the first period.
Yeah, just kind of back and forth so far. You're seeing a lot of dump-in attempts and some chasing, but like you mentioned, not a lot of shots right now that are being taken. One apiece, it looks like right now on the scoreboard up in front of us.
Face off right in front of the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders bench. Buccaneers. Shaw was going to take the face off, but they
Blair and
decided.
Blanchard jawing at each other. Jacob Rosenberg, the linesman, giving Blanchard and Blair a piece of his mind.
Blanchard has it for the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. Back to Shaw, sent over to the far side. Slinger couldn't hang on to it. Here comes Rough Riders 2-on-2 coming back the other way. Shot never made it. Pettenberg plays it on the left-hand side. Down below the goal line, off the half boards. Back up through center ice it comes. Picked off by Rough Riders. Sent to the far side, and Buccaneers forced to turn over, and they're going to come in offsides again.
A lot of whistles so far. Sloppy entrances.
Wait till tomorrow night. I think tomorrow, I don't know, we'll call it tomorrow night, tomorrow late afternoon, what I would call it. I was saying that last weekend on the broadcast. It depends what time you call it evening. I'd say after 5 o'clock you start calling it evening, but hard telling. Back down to the Buccaneers end of the rank. Kroll has it for the Buccaneers. Sent on the near side to Theo Kiss. Theo Kiss tried to clear it out of the zone, not able to do it right in front of the Buccaneer bench. Back out to all green jerseys here, white and green jerseys. Huff sends it down in the Buccaneer end of the rink. Played by Dyer. Sent to the near side. Back up through center ice it comes. Theo Kiss with it. Sends it all the way down in the Rough Riders defensive side of the ice. Played to the near side. Off the half boards. Left-hand circle. Puck comes free. Back out to center ice it comes. And a long pass shot on net save. And the Buccaneers are going to get a offensive faceoff. There's a second shot on the net for the Buccaneers. A little pushing and shoving after the whistles. Keevan is getting pushed and shoved by the captain for the Rough Riders.
Yeah, the Bucks, they try that a lot. They get that home run pass looking for a breakaway in behind the defense, and Keevan was the one they were trying to feed there as he's having some words with Garen Slezak, the captain of the Rough Riders, who got in a fight last night and also got a 5 in game misconduct for head contact. He is in. Sometimes you see players, if they get a 5 in a game for boarding, head contact, stuff like that. Sometimes you'll see him sit out a game or two because of suspension, but not for him. He is in tonight's game, and unless he does something that would put him on the naughty list, you'll probably see him tomorrow as well.
Looks like we got some. Media still needing a timeout here.
Yeah, Slezak, the captain, he leads the USHL in penalty minutes, 143 for him this season so far. Hey, last night definitely helped them out a little bit in that category.
Face off to the stick side. Roughly. Vernon with the face off for the Buccaneers. Then over to the far side, up through center ice it comes. Top of the circle, fires it, shot, saved by Weilet.
That's a good glove save. And well, we just saw that from the Rough Riders. We saw a good amount last night where they were able to kind of break a player free on the entry and just have him all alone down walking down Broadway, down the slot, and gets a shot off. And it came back to bite the Bucks a few times yesterday, but Weilet able to get a good glove save there.
I just got notified Birch Hill is wearing number 3 again tonight because of the special jersey, so he is not number 6 listed on the lineup chart, so if you're paying attention to him, he is wearing a number 3 tonight, as these jerseys probably got ordered and processed well before he joined the team, so.
And his first game was against the Rough Riders when we made the travel up 2 weeks ago to Cedar Rapids. That was his debut. He looked good, had some good shots. I believe he has a goal and an assist so far in his short tenure with the Buccaneers, and I know he picked up a goal last weekend.
Cedar Rapids Rough Riders sent it to the far side, off the half boards, played by Barron. Harper in there too for the Buccaneers. Rough Riders tried to center it up to Fenton, but couldn't hang on to it. And here comes the Bucks up out of the zone. Tried to get it Slinger, not able to do it. Back and forth at the blue line. Rough Riders send it deep into their zone. Pick it up in behind their own goaltender, putting the pressure on them as the Buccaneers Slinger back to the far side. Yadreski in there too. Up through center ice it comes. Played to the near side by Barron. Barron with it now to the far side. Right up through center ice. Rough Riders play it to the far side. Mazel with it for the Rough Riders. Off the inboards. Played by Barron. Barron circles back around. Looking ahead. Long pass up to Friskalov. Sent over to the far side. Deladonna off the half boards. dumped in deep. Rough Riders come up with it in behind their own goaltender. Tied up on the right-hand side. Fig has it for the Rough Riders. Play to the near side. Right up through center ice it comes. Back out to Riskaloff. To Peppenberg. Now the Buccaneers down in their defensive side. The ice shot just goes wide by Nelson. Back to Nelson on the left-hand side. He tries to chip it off the high glass. Couldn't do it. The Buccaneers send it out. Williams chasing after it for the Rough Riders. That's going to be icing on the Buccaneers. 9:28 left of the first period. 0-0 hockey game. Rough Riders out shooting the Buccaneers 3-2. Face off to the glove side of Wylet. Deladonna with the face off for the Buccaneers. Young in there for the Rough Riders. Rough Riders win the face off. Back to Nelson. And Rough Riders tried to take a shot. Broken stick. And
Slezak
had to come back and pick up a stick. That's got to be an odd feeling, Eliza, when you go to make that slap shot, make that shot, and the piece of material you're trying to make the shot with breaks in half. I would say wood, but I don't think there's a piece of wood on any of these sticks anymore. Rough Riders with it up through center ice. Left-hand side across the blue line down on the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Right out in front, Young tips it just past Wylet. That's a good play by the Rough Riders, but not able to capitalize on it. 8:51 left in the first period. Defensive face-off here for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, Young was trying to get that kind of that backdoor tap in there, deflect right past Wylet, but good job by Grossclass to stay on him kind of the whole way, prevent a clean look for Grant Young, and that tip goes high up and over the head of Wylet. And Cedar Rapids, they like that backdoor tap, and we saw up in Cedar Rapids. I know we talked about that on the power play. They had a Stopovich sitting at that goal line waiting for the puck to come to him and get that backdoor tap in. And kind of see that now. They're trying to find that man that's behind the defense, in behind Wylet, looking for this easy kind of tap in there. But the Bucks, Grossclass, good job there snuffing that out.
Clark with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Wins it back to Dyer. Sent to the near side to Kiss. Back out to the point. Vinton with it for the Rough Riders. Sent to the far side. Romeo lost his footing there for the Rough Riders right on the face-off dot. Not sure what happened there. He just went down in a pile. Got right back up. Must have lost the edge or something. Looks good now. She actually gets a shot on net. Saved by Wylet. A lot of times after they do that, they'll take a look at their skate, but he's not doing that. Just must have lost his footing a little bit. Both teams changing it up. Kernan, Zielinski, Burchill, Harper, Barron out there for the Buccaneers. 8:25 of the first period. Rough Riders out shooting the Buccaneers 5-2. Late to Kernan with the face-off to the stick side of Wylet. Buccaneers win the face-off. They sit up in behind Wylet to the far side to Harper. Harper on the left-hand corner. Now back to Barron. Right up through center ice. Chips it down in. Right-hand circle. Rough Riders catch up to it. Set up in behind their own goaltender. Played on the near side. And up out of the zone it comes. Centering pass broken up by Harper. Played to the near side on the half boards. Just under 8 minutes remaining in the first period. Kernan plays it for the Bucks. Left-hand side. Centering pass broken up by Nelson. Or wasn't Nelson for the Rough Riders. Roll broken up by the Rough Riders. Sent over to the far side. Burchill has it across the blue line to Kernan. Zielinski just backhands it down off the half boards and now down off the end boards. Sent to the far side. Rough Riders come up with it. Right up through the Buccaneer logo, played on the left-hand side. Williams dumps it in for the Rough Riders. Retrieved by Peppenberg for the Buccaneers, and back out of the zone it comes. Slinger chasing after it, and icing on the Buccaneers. 7:20 remaining in the first period.
Yeah, if Selinger could have received that pass cleanly, that he would have had a break. He was in behind the defense, but just goes out of his range back behind Rustley and ends up being an icing. It could have been a break, and it swung in the other way as an icing now. So it's just if that got a piece of him, we would be in a completely different situation right now. Let's see if the Rough Riders can capitalize off this pass.
Shaw with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Wins the face-off back to Peppenberg. Peppenberg plays it to the far side. Fig keeps it in for the Rough Riders. Barely, I think I just barely stayed on the side there. Sent over to the far side. Skoloff took a hard hit on the far side. Back to Fig. Fig from Williams. Off the half boards to the far side. Buick tied up on the half boards. The Buccaneers come up with it. Slinger to Shaw. And the Rough Riders do a good job just keeping the Buccaneers to the outside on the break-in. The Rough Riders sit up in behind their own goaltender, played to the far side. Back out to the neutral zone. Harper in there for the Buccaneers and going to get a high stick call. And it's going to be a high sticking call on the Buccaneers. Ardreski into the penalty box for the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers be on the Des Moines Printing penalty kill. 6:35 of the first period.
Yeah, the power play for the Rough Riders. They have some goal scorers. Stopovich, he's 7th in the USHL when it comes to power play goals with 8. Keith Nelson, he's tied 11th with 7. So they have Nelson and a Stopovich who like to score, and Hajibi, he likes to dish out on the power play. 11 assists on the power play for him this season so far. So keep an eye out for Stopovich, Nelson, and Hajibi.
Rough Riders with it on the near side. Right-hand side. Just below the blue line. With it. Sent to the right side. Back out at the top side. Fires a shot. Glove save by Weiler, but that was going to go wide.
And the Bucks last night only had to kill 2 penalties, as it says on the USHL stat sheet. I know they took a lot more penalty minutes than just 2, but
it seems more than that.
They went 2 for 2 on the PK, according to the USHL report.
That surprises me. You said that. Buccaneers with it to the far side. I kind of had the volume up last night, and half and half. I was watching the sprint car race and kind of paying attention to the Bucs game, but it seemed like every time I looked down, there was a penalty being called. Nelson back to play it for the Rough Riders. Mazza with it for the Rough Riders, sent to the left-hand side all the way down into the Buccaneer in the rink. Thorpe picks it up off the half boards, loses his edge too, gets right back up. Played on the near side. Jobby with it, fires it down into the Buccaneers offensive side of the ice. That was sent all the way down by Birchill. 55 seconds remaining on the penalty to the Buccaneers. Back up through center ice, across the blue line. Etzel with it, sent to the far side. Walking it in, shot on net, saved by Wylet. That was a good save by Wylet. And the puck comes free. Fig wasn't able to keep it in for the Rough Riders. Had to come all the way back down, retrieve it in behind Rustley. And now here comes Fig up out of the zone with it, left-hand side, down into the Buccaneer into the rink. Trying to wrap it around, top side. 19 seconds left on the penalty kill here for the Buccaneers. Slinginger with it, and Fig, tough time hanging on to that puck again. And the Buccaneers going to kill it off here with only 7 seconds left on the PK here for the Buccaneers. And the Rough Riders come in offsides. 1 second left up on the penalty for the Buccaneers. 4:36 left in the first period. Face off in front of the Buccaneer bench.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Actually, they're going to move it across.
Unfortunate for Vig. It just went to shoot.
Yeah.
And it just kind of slipped off a stick and gave the Bucks. There's a 2-on-2 chance coming back the other way, but I think the Bucks are more happy that was more of just kill off the final seconds of this, and we're at full strength.
Back down into the Rough Riders in the rink. Deladonna chasing after it. Roughriders come up with it to the far side, back to 5-on-5 hockey. Thorpe has it. Thorpe keeps it alive at the blue line, sent to the near side. Blair to pick it up on the left-hand corner. Played on the near side. Roughriders come up with it. All the way up through center ice, dumps it down into the Buccaneer in the rink. Weilet sends it to the near side to Blair. Blair gets it up out of the zone to Piskalov, and Piskalov brings it back in. Mazza chasing after it for the Roughriders. Picks it up down below the goal line. Now the Roughriders bring it up out of the zone, left-hand side. 2-on-2 coming back the other way. Shot just goes wide through the slot. Nice idea by the Roughriders. Sent over to the far side. Young has it. Fires it. Shot just goes wide. Of Weilet again. I do believe that was Young that took a shot towards the net. Roughriders out shooting the Buccaneers 7-2. Back to the near side. Fitton has it for the Roughriders. Played on the right-hand corner to Barron. Clark in there too, trying to dig it out for the Buccaneers. Shot just goes wide. Fitton shot it from the point from the Roughriders. Went wide of Weilet. Back out. Buccaneers not able to clear it out. Roughriders actually making the line change here. A few players came off while they have the Buccaneers trapped in their defensive side of the ice. Back to the near side. Blair with it. Clark comes up with it for the Buccaneers. He turns and sets up in behind Weilet. And the Buccaneers get some fresh legs out there as Keevan comes off the bench. And here comes the Buccaneers. Keevan with the right-hand side. Got some wheels. Across the blue line. Now looking. Fires it. Shot just goes wide to Russley. Played at the near side. Kept in at the blue line. Hard hit to Peppenberg. Centering pass broken up. And Roughriders able to bring it right up out of the zone. Played on the near side. Back and forth. Peppenberg picks it up for the Buccaneers. Sent to the far side to Buick. Theo Kiss trying to get a stick on it. Couldn't do it. Puck goes back down. Weilet leaves it there in behind his own cage. Sent to the far side. Godreski with it in the corner. Back out to the blue line. Huff has it for the Roughriders. Tied up on the near side. Back to Huff. Had to look up Eliza. I thought maybe there was a power play or penalty I missed here as the Roughriders controlling the play down on the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. 5-on-5 hockey out there. The Buccaneers look like they're on the penalty kill, not able to get possession of the puck at all. Sent over to the far side. Shot and tipped up into the protective netting, and we get a whistle. 1:39 of the first.
That just great offensive possession time for the Roughriders. They're just able to cycle it, keep it away from the Bucks, and unfortunately for the Roughriders, not really able to get a lot of good opportunities, good looks off of all that zone time. Which give credit to the Bucks getting in the way, preventing them from going to the inside, keeping them on the outside. But so far, it's been a lot of looking down to our right. The Roughriders have really controlled the pace.
Roughriders win the faceoff. They keep it in down below the goal line. Played on the near side by Thorpe. Back out Fitton with it. Circles back around. Fires it. Shot on net. Weilet with the save. And the Buccaneers pick up the rebound. Played on the near side. Birchill with it. Leaves it there for Kernan. Kernan on the left-hand side down below the goal line. Sent to the far side. Back out to Zelensky. Fires it from the point. Shot on net. Russley with the save.
That should be the Bucks' first shot in quite some time.
Boy, I was going to say, I'm probably 13-minute mark, maybe 11-minute mark there. It's been a while since the Buccaneers had any offense down their offensive side of the ice.
Okay, since they took that, since Yastrzemski had that high-sticky minor, it's really been all Cedar Rapids.
Kernan with the face-off to the right, or the left side, glove side of Russley. The Buccaneers win the faceoff and not able to keep it in at the blue line. Here comes both teams back the other way. Barron off the inboard, sent over to the far side, down on the Buccaneers' defensive side of the ice. Zelensky with it for the Buccaneers, tied up down there with Harper. And the Buccaneers come up with it. We still got two players tied up. I think they thought the puck was there. Hiles and Harper were tied up in the corner, but the Buccaneers come up with it. Dumps it down into the Rough Riders in the ring. Burchill chasing after it. Burchill wearing number 3 tonight instead of that number 6. I think he's doing that just to confuse us. Last weekend he had number 6 on. And last night. Special jerseys tonight, so he's got the number 3 on. Probably didn't anticipate having a number 6 on the team when they made these jerseys. 10 seconds remain in the period. Rough Riders with it down in the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Played on the near side. Fires a shot up over the head of Wylet. After one period of play, it's the Buccaneers 0, the Rough Riders 0, and the Rough Riders out shooting the Buccaneers 8-3. And just a few penalties, Eliza, no scoring.
I was going
It's
to
going to
say,
be a short intermission here for us.
yeah, pretty low event first period when you look at it, even though the Rough Riders had a lot of offensive zone time, a lot of offensive possession. It was just cycle around, getting the pass, maybe a shot attempt or 2 to the net, but not a lot that Wylet had to stop. 8 shots against is what the scoreboard says after 1. The penalties, Brizgalov, Hajibi, who was matching minors for cross-checking and embellishment. It put 4 and 4 a little bit, even when he took the player off the ice and, opened it up a little bit. Still not a lot of action for either team there. Bucks, not a lot of action in the offensive zone at all so far. 3 shots for them. And then I'd say, like I mentioned earlier, once Ostrowski had that minor for high sticking, it was really all Cedar Rapids from not power play till the buzzer. And good thing for the Bucks, it's still 0-0 after 1. We have intermission. They'll go talk about it, and I wonder we'll see a little more offense in the second period, especially in comparison of the first period of last night's game.
All right, that's going to do it for Eliza and Tony here. We're going to sign off for about 10, 15 minutes, come back with second period action. Thanks for listening to Des Moines Buccaneer Hockey.
All right, just about 4.5 minutes until the second period starts between the Buccaneers and the Roughriders. We're scoreless after one. Shots are in favor of Cedar Rapids, 8-3, and a relatively low event first period, especially when you compare it to yesterday's first period. 5 goals after one yesterday. There were 4 goals in the second period yesterday. A high scoring event there, but nothing yet. But still plenty of time for that to change. And as we wait, let's take a look at the scoreboard around the USHL. We have the Force, who are in Chicago. They're up 4-2 right now on the Steel. USA Hockey is on top of Green Bay, 3-2 in Green Bay. Musketeers hosting Stampede. It's a 1-1 game there. The Stars hosting the Blackhawks. They are up 1-0. The Storm are in Omaha, up 1-0. And then the Lumberjacks Fighting Saints game hasn't started yet, it says, but should be getting underway in just a moment. A 7:05 start on that one. Of course, we're scoreless 0-0 here. Both these teams back in action tomorrow against each other. Tony was saying not evening, but at the same time, it's not afternoon. It's kind of that weird gap. It's 4:05 start. That'll be the third game in a row between these teams this weekend. After the Roughriders picked up a 6-5 overtime win yesterday, they play today, and they play tomorrow. The next weekend, the Bucks, they play one game. It's a Dupaco matchup. It's in Dubuque against the Fighting Saints, the top team in the East. That will be a 7:05 start next Friday. The week after that, they also have only one game. So 2 weekends consisted of only one game. They'll be in Omaha on the 21st at a 7:05 start there. And then we'll be back home on kind of a weird game. It's a Tuesday, March 25th game at 6:30. I was talking to Tony about that one. That's the next time the Bucks are at home. And then they play that weekend, Friday against the U18s here. And then the Lincoln Stars on the road on Saturday. So that's the next time we'll see the Bucks at home. Tuesday, March 25th. 3 games on the road will separate this game and that game. But Roughriders players take the ice here. The Bucks are yet to get on, but they're getting ready to here.
As Elijah said, the Buccaneers back out here on the ice. I think everybody's ready to get this going. Go a little bit higher with it, Elijah. There you go. Thank you. As everybody's coming out a little early tonight.
Yeah, I feel like we usually have those 7:05 starts or the 6 o'clock starts. And tonight it was right between 6:30. Threw me off a little bit compared to what we're used to, but we're getting home 30 minutes earlier as well before it gets too dark out. It's been some interesting weather recently at Cedar Rapids, located in Iowa as well. So when you talk about Iowa weather, all the Roughriders fans understand what we're saying, because sometimes we're playing teams outside of the state and we're talking about the weather, they don't understand. I feel like Iowa's a little strange. We had that blizzard on Wednesday. Some snow up north of us as well a couple days ago. Might have been yesterday, I believe. But we dodged the worst of it.
We did dodge a big bullet. You're talking about the weather. We had the blizzard here that wasn't really much of a blizzard, but we dodged it.
I'm always fine having some snow, but not too much. I like to drive. I like to be on the roads. I also travel a decent amount from here up to Ames. So the clearer the roads, the easier it is for me.
Buccaneers wearing their plaid jerseys going to your right on the screen. Roughriders wearing their white and green jerseys going to your left on the screen. 0-0 hockey game after one period of play. Roughriders outshot the Buccaneers 8-3. And here comes Harper up out of the zone. Dumps it down in. Rusley plays it off the far board, sent over to the far side. Well, Eliza, would you ever thought after 11 goals scored last night between the Roughriders and the Buccaneers, we'd be at 0-0 after one period of play?
Yeah, you would have expected them kind of come out firing like they did yesterday, but
Maybe
kind
they
of the opposite.
shot on net saved by Wylet. That was a shot from Pig, and now some pushing and shoving afterwards. And a little headlock.
Barron in there. Barron and Seidel going at it. When we were up in Cedar Rapids 2 weeks ago, it was pretty chippy in the first period. There's a lot of pushing and shoving. I remember Kroll was getting in the mix, and then it kind of died down. But yesterday, there was a fight. There was a 5 and a major assessed for head contact, so definitely had its fair share of chippiness, and that's it. Compared to those two games, it's not really been a whole lot so far.
Clark with the face-off for the Buccaneers to the stick side. And the Roughriders win the face-off over to Fig. Sit off the inboard, sit to the far side, and Buccaneers come up with it. 2-on-2 coming back the other way. Played by Clark. Clark looking, fires a shot on net, and Rusley with the save, and that one just about snuck by him. And the Roughriders Fig sends it up out of the zone, back up through center ice, right through the Buccaneer logo, dumps it back in. Autophagish dumps it down into the far side, and the Buccaneers come up with it. Oh, both players go down. That was Theo Kiss and Young that went down there. Kind of both lost their footing. Buccaneers play it to Buick. Fires a shot. Just goes wide to Wesley. Played by Clark off the half board. And here comes the Roughriders up out of the zone. That was a hard hit to the far side. Both players, Young got hit hard. Shot on net, saved by Wesley. And I think Thorpe hit him. I think they both ran into each other. They looked like they were going to collide, and they both went the same direction to avoid each other, and that was a hard hit. That was icing on the Roughriders. That's usually the way when they get hurt out there is when both players aren't anticipating the hit, and boy, that's what happened there.
Now these top two lines for the Bucks, well, the Kiss, Clark, Keevan line just got their fair share of opportunities. Now the Burchill, Kernan, Zielinski line to be on the ice. Well, once Theo Kiss come back and the Bucks acquired Burchill, in fact, this top six, they've gotten a lot of opportunities, a lot of looks, and they were really good last weekend. And Theo Kiss, and ever since returning from injury, 6 points in 12 games. So he's been doing just fine since coming back from injury.
Buccaneers with him. Zielinski fires a shot on net. Wesley with the save. Rebound came right back to Kernan, but got tied up. Sent over to the far side. Back out through center ice, played by Dyer. Dyer to Zielinski. Across the blue line, Zielinski with it. Sending pass to Kernan, just outside his stick to the far side. Cedar Rapids picks it up off the far boards. Zielinski dumps it back in. Tables have kind of turned here a little bit, Eliza, as the Buccaneers have been able to put some offensive pressure on the Roughriders. Back up through center ice it comes. Oza has it. Sent to the far side. Uza sends it down in deep. Played to the near side. Vandenberg in there too for the Roughriders. Back out to the point. Fires a shot on net. Wylet with the save.
Yeah, you talk about the Bucks having turned the tables a little bit. They have 5 shots, it says right now. They had 3 after the first period. Some good looks there in close on Rusley. We saw down to our right not that long ago, but the Bucks have this went up to 6, so they've already doubled their shot or equaled the amount of shots they had in the first period in just under 3 minutes of play.
Vandenberg with the faceoff for the Roughriders. Deladonna with the faceoff for the Buccaneers. We got a Hanson brother here tonight. See that, Eliza? Just walked by us. Some slap shot long time ago.
My dad has one of the Hanson brother jerseys. That's a good movie.
That's a good movie. Good jersey to see. I saw the young kid walking to my right. Haven't seen a Hanson jersey in a long time. I remember when they showed up at Hickman, the Buccaneer arena on Hickman, shot on net. Wylet with the save. That was always fun. Played to the far side. Harper has it for the Buccaneers. Down below the goal line. Now the Roughriders put some offensive pressure on the Buccaneers. Played on the near side, right up through center ice. And here comes the Bucks. Grosloss with it for the Buccaneers. Spicer shot. Score! Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah. And the Buccaneers put it on the top shelf. Hit one by Wesley. And the Buccaneers are up 1-0.
That's a good one for Grosskloss to have. That's his first goal in 40 games. And he's been looking for that one. And
boy, he put it on the top
I
shelf.
say he roofed that one. And that's a good one to have for Grosskloss. A feel-good one. Get the monkey off his back. And he looked for the pass. He kind of looked to his left, angled his body, looked like he was going to pass. Turned back towards Wesley and just roofed it.
Well, we've seen so many times this year, Eliza, they usually make that pass, and we've been saying a long time, take the dang shot, and they finally did. Send over to the far side. The Buccaneers are up 1-0. Romeo plays it, but the Buccaneers intercept it right up through center ice. And the Buccaneers way offsides there. Zlinger comes in about a foot offsides. And we're looking for the goal here. Eliza's here running electronics tonight. Eliza, it's a lot easier when you're here trying to run this stuff than me doing it all by myself, so I appreciate it. Here we go with the goal here.
Look at Grosskloss. It's all him. He breaks it up there and just takes it all the way down. He turns there, looks for the pass, and just roofs it past Rusley.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. Nice goal. Just good play in general. He created the play himself down in the defensive zone, and it turns into a goal.
And the Buccaneers come in offsides. As it trickled out of the zone, they tried to turn around and bring it right back in. Be interesting if anybody else at home watching the Buccaneers tonight, as I'm a huge sprint car fan watching the Ward Outlaws on the other screen here, and the Ward Outlaws Toyota Dash is just getting ready to start. And hopefully we got some sprint car fans out there. And I'm going to go from working at the Buccaneers hockey to right into sprint car racing here in a few weeks down in Knoxville. Puck goes all the way free down in the Buccaneer defensive side of the ice. Eliza, we're going to have to get you down there for a race this year. You've never seen a sprint car up in person. You know, oh boy, we'll get you down there.
I'm missing out.
Yeah, you're missing out. The rumble of those cars is something else. Cedar Rapids with it down on their defensive side of the ice, played on the near side. All the way up through center ice, dumped it down into the Buccaneer, into the rink, and that's icing waved off. I did talk to, while we were up in Cedar Rapids a few weeks ago, I saw a guy wearing a Donnie Schatz sweatshirt up there, and I talked to him for a while up in Cedar Rapids about sprint car racing. Fires a shot, goes up tipped up into the crowd there, and we get a whistle. So I know we got some Cedar Rapids Roughriders sprint car fans up there, at least one of them.
You know, looking back at that Bucks goal, the Grosskloss goal, I pulled up his game-by-game stats, and Grosskloss, starting off the year, he had a goal about 7-8 games in against Muskegon. He had one 3 games later against Chicago. His last goal was on October 20th, and he just got one tonight, not that long ago. So congratulations, Grosskloss, getting that goal. He's had a handful of assists from then until now, but that's his first goal, and that's just a feel-good moment. And he saw the big smile on his face. He loved to have that one, and that's a good one to have.
Shot all the way from outside the blue line, and Weilet makes the save. Dyer picks it up, played on the near side. Kernan tried to get it back to Valinsky, couldn't do it. The Roughriders pick it off at center ice. All the way down to the Roughriders defensive side of the ice. They spin and go in behind their own goaltender, Rusley. Back up through center ice it comes. Intended for Nelson. Vinton gets a stick on it, not able to hang on to it. Long pass up through center ice. Back out to the action here. Up through center ice it comes. Roughriders across the blue line, sent to the far side. Fires a backhanded shot. Weilet with the save. Off the inboards. Deladonna plays it for the Buccaneers in the right-hand corner. Off that right circle. Back and forth it goes. Then all the way down into the Buccaneers offensive side of the ice. Blair with it for the Bucks. To the top side. Bounced over our stick. Barron couldn't keep it in as it flipped over his stick. Tried to turn and bring it back. Hard hit there. Gross loss. Checked two of the Cedar Rapids players. About knocked both of them down.
He's had himself a very strong period so far.
He has had a strong period. That just about was like two bowling pins that just about fell over there. All the way back down to the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Buick plays it to Peppenberg. Off the half boards. Up through center ice. 3-on-2 coming back the other way. Buccaneers just dump it in. Rusley leaves it to the near side. Back out to the point. Odreski keeps it in. Circling around. Back out. Fires a shot. Just goes wide. Rusley played to the near side. And up into protective netting. We get a whistle. 12:43 left in the second.
The Bucks have had a way better second period so far than they had in the first. They had 3 shots in the first period, and now so far they have 4. And they've been down to a right getting some good looks. They had the gross pass goal, of course, but the Bucks have offensively looked way better in this period.
Yeah, they have. They look really well. Face off to the stick side. Rusley played off the half boards. Down in deep, played to the near side. Back out through center ice to the near side. Buccaneers come right back up with it, right-hand side. Yardreski off the end boards. Simlinger out there, too, for the Buccaneers. Now the Roughriders bring it back and forth. Dump it down in. Dyer back to retrieve it in behind his own goaltender. Sent to the far side. Theo Kiss has it for the Buccaneers. Plays it to the right-hand side. He spins around a couple 360 there. Still controlling the puck and now leaves it back to Keevan. Keevan across the blue line. Sent to the far side to Kiss. Off the half boards to Clark. Back to Keevan. And Rough Riders not able to clear it out as of right now. Back to the near side. Rough Riders pick it up. Sent to into the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Back up to the blue line. Rough Riders fires it. Shot just goes wide of Weilet. Buccaneers play it to the left-hand side. Back up to Clark. Clark has it, and the Buccaneers are going to come in off sides. Had to pull the trigger. Across the blue line, left there by Clark. Clark played it to the near side, sent over to the far side to Keevan. Fires a shot, save by Rusley. And the Buccaneers have it at the blue line. Kept in by Barron. Trying to walk it around. Circles back out to the top side. Left there to Barron. The Buccaneers put some offensive pressure here on the Rough Riders. Sent over to the far side. Harper with it off the half boards. Circles back around off the end boards to the blue line. Played by Barron. Fires a shot on net. Rusley with the save. And now some pushing 7 in front of the goaltender. That's Theo Kiss.
And the referee just tackled Theo Kiss.
Yes, he did. I'm not sure what happened there.
So that got the fans' attention.
I think they just...
So that was a solid football tackle.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to look back at that. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was Kiss going at with Seidel.
Seidel. I don't think he did it on purpose. I think they both kind of got tripped up there.
I do too. But I just think it's kind of funny to see. You know, you see it sometimes,
Yeah,
just let them lose their footing. But this makes it look like a little bit of a tackle.
Yeah, it almost did. Oops, sorry, I went the wrong direction on the iPad.
Yeah, before the TV or the media timeout, the Bucks a lot of offensive zone time. A good cycle. Barron and Clark were really working around that. Barron had a couple good opportunities. He got the final shot in that sequence, but that line once again doing a good job out there for the Bucks.
Offensive faceoff here for the Buccaneers. Kernan with the faceoff. And the Roughriders win the faceoff. They draw it to the near side. Sent over to the far side. Young chasing after it for the Roughriders. Sent all the way to the end boards. Buccaneers come up with it. Kernan has it now for the Buccaneers. Plays at the right-hand side. Across the blue line. They stayed on side. Shot on net. Rusley with the save. And the puck, oh, see, oh, boy. That linesman just went down, and he just about got a skate to the face. Boy, that was close. We do not want to see that, and he lost his footing out there.
That's the worst time possible, pretty
Boy,
much.
he was trying to pivot, but that worst went down. He had two players went right by his face as they were skating, and that was close. Do not want to see that. Shot tipped into the protective netting. I don't care if you like the referees or don't like the referees. You don't want to see someone get hurt on the ice, especially with a skate blade. He is laughing, so he's good to go. But, boy, that was close.
Yeah, that was, I believe that was Jacob Rosenberg. It's a little bit of ice on his pants. He's looking down. He has a smile on his face. He's okay. He's in good spirits about it. That's all that matters.
Buccaneers win the faceoff, played by Dyer. Dyer sends it to the far side. Here comes the Buccaneers up out of the zone, played by Deladonna. Fires a shot on net right into the breadbasket. Rusley, and he hangs on to a good whistle. Buccaneers offensive faceoff, 9:32 of the second. Roughriders out shooting the Buccaneers 12-10, but the Buccaneers lead on the scoreboard 1-0.
Yeah, this line for the Bucks has also been pretty good tonight. A lot of the I'd say all the offensive lines for the Bucks tonight have been good, getting opportunities, getting looks, and this line of Brizgalov, Deladonna, Grosskloss that's out right now got some good looks. They got the goal as well, so they're the line to put the Bucks on the board, but we'll see if they can do anything here.
Buccaneers send it right back in as Roughriders able to clear it up out of the zone. The Buccaneers pick it off and bring her out of the zone. Now here comes the Roughriders up out of the zone down on the Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Laid on the near side off the half boards. Top side fires a shot. Blocker save by Weilet. Played to the near side. Off the left-hand circle. Backhanded shot saved by Weilet, and we got a delayed penalty here, and it's going to be on the Buccaneers as they touch it up. Going to get a cross-checking call. 8:42 of the second period. The Buccaneers be on a Des Moines turning penalty kill.
The Hajibi, he drew that one.
Hajibi, yeah, he did draw it.
Kind of razzle-dazzle down towards Weilet. Weilet got the save, but Grosskloss took him down a little too hard, and Grosskloss is heading to the box. The Bucks are going to be on a 2-minute PK for the second time tonight.
Kernan, Thorpe, Clark, and Dyer out there for the Buccaneers.
Got a big old flag waving next to us right now,
yeah,
giving us a little bit of air.
Yeah,
And
I felt it on top of my head, yeah. Sweet. Buccaneers win the faceoff. They draw it on the near side. Shipped it up out of the zone. Got it past Vic. And the Roughriders got to retrieve it all the way back in their defensive side of the ice as Clark is still putting the pressure on him. And the Roughriders get it back to Fig. Fig sets up. He spins around, sets up in behind Rusley. Played to the near side. Here comes the Roughriders up out of the zone. Across center ice line. Picked off by Kernan, and he sends it back down in deep.
The official call on that penalty was checking from behind. They gave it to Grosskloss. It was just announced.
Up through center ice it goes on the left right-hand side. Played off the half boards. Now off the end boards. Hard hit by Thorpe. To the point for the Roughriders. Vandenberg with it. To the Fig. Down to the bottom side. Left-hand circle. Fires a shot on net. Weilet with the save. And Fig with a disgusted look on his face as he did a slapper from the top of the circle and Violet with the save.
He had Yolvebny parked out right in front of Violet, trying to get the screen on, but Violet tracked it the whole way. So far this period, shots are in favor of the Bucks, 7-6. That's it, but the shot total still favors Cedar Rapids, 14-10.
Yeah, a lot more shots in this period than the first period for sure. I'm kind of liking the plaid jerseys more and more as I look at them, Eliza. I know when they first came out, I was kind of iffy, but I'm kind of liking the Farmer jerseys. The Roughriders win the face-off on the near side and up into the bench of the Roughriders, and we get a whistle. Buccaneers win the face-off. They throw it down into the Roughriders in the ring. Rusley just lets it pop over his stick, played on the near side. Back up through center ice, right through the Buccaneer logo. Across the blue side, across the blue line. .39 seconds left on the PK here for the Buccaneers. Roughriders with a couple good looks at it. Then over to the far side. Nelson has it. Right-hand circle. To the top side. McNellis shot on that save. And Violet makes a good save there. 6:59 of the first. 17 seconds left on the PK.
Yeah, some good job there by the Roughriders. Passing it on the outside. They have Massa up at the top. I was working that over to Hajibi, to McNellis. Ostopovich, we got the eventual shot there. Good save by Violet. But 17 seconds left on the PK for the Bucks. If you can get a face-off win, get it clear down, that'll pretty much do it.
And the Roughriders win the face-off. Mazza with it to the far side. Working at a high slot. Tommy fires it. Just went through the blue paint. Got tipped in front. I think Thorpe tipped that. Got it up out of the zone. And all the way back down into the Roughriders in the ring. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. 6:38 remaining in the second period. Roughriders played on the near side. Circles back around, right-hand side, right up through center ice. Intended for Hiles, and the Buccaneers intercept that pass. Back out through center ice it comes. Roughriders with it. Played to the near side. Almost too many men on the ice for the Roughriders. And they get a whistle. Icing on the Roughriders. That was close. As they were making a line change. Puck went right in between both players. But I don't think either player had a skate on the ice as the puck went through.
So I don't think Slezak also saw they were going for the line change.
Yeah.
But Slezak is trying to get a pass going to enter the offensive zone, but no one was there and ready. So then it'd be an icing.
Roughriders win the face-off. They draw it down below the goal line. Keevan in there trying to put pressure on him. To the far side at the point. Kept in at the point by Barron. And then Roughriders forced a turnover and come back the other way. Clark rides them all the way to the half boards. And Clark, nice back check by the Buccaneers as Clark took him right off the puck. Sent over to the far side with Theo Kiss. 5:45 left in the second. Played on the near side. Keevan with it. To the far side to Barron. Up to the near side to Clark. Across the blue line down on the Buccaneers. Offensive side of the ice. Tried to get a shot off. Fig intercepts it for the Roughriders. Fig tried to clear it out of the zone. Not able to do it yet. Barron goes down and played on the near side. Fires a shot on net. Saved by Violet. And we got more players falling down. This ice has seen a lot of action today as there's a youth tournament going on here too. Did not have a whole lot of time to prepare the ice as we were scrambling to even get on the air here because we didn't have a whole lot of time after that youth game. Played on the near side. Roughriders with it. Top of the circle. Fires a shot on net. Violet with the save. Sent over to the far side. Theo Kiss plays it to the far side. Theo Kiss goes in with a hit. Left it there for Barron to Clark. And back out to center ice it comes. Lenska has it for the Roughriders. Played to the near side. Fires a shot on net. Weilet with the save. The net just about came off at the moorings. Popped off, came right back on. Play continues on. Back out to center right. Back out to the blue line, sent in by Roughriders.
Yeah, these Bucks are tired
Yeah, they are. Both teams, I think, are tired right now.
because they've been stuck out there for quite some
Yeah.
time.
And here comes Zelensky up out of the zone. Down into the Roughriders defensive side of the ice. Played to the far side off the half course. Hey! Back out through center ice. Peppenberg with it for the Buccaneers. 3:50 remaining in the second period. 1-0 hockey game. Back up through center ice to the far side. Kernan has it for the Buccaneers. He burns and turns, come back to the other way. Down on the left-hand side off the end boards, and somebody lost their stick out there. Looks like a Rough Rider lost his stick. Picks it right back up. Played to the near side. Buick keeps it in at the blue line for the Buccaneers. Birchill on the inboard, sent over to the far side. Back up through center ice it comes. Rough Riders try to bring it up out of the zone. Not able to control the puck. Buccaneers send it right back in. Then over to the near side, kept in at the blue line. Yardreski with it. Walks it right out. Shot. Rusley with the save. Nice shot by Yardreski. Played by Shaw. Right out. Centering pass broken up. Played to the near side. The Rough Riders up out of the zone. Boy, that was off the high glass. Just about a half an inch from going into the stands off the high glass. Loose puck, played to the near side. Kroll has it for the Buccaneers. Back up to the blue line. Mazza keeps it in. And we got some pushing and shoving. We got a fight. Bozic's going with Birchill. Birchill left, right. Birchill still looking for his first punch, and both players go down. Not a whole lot of punches thrown. Mazza and Birchill drop the gloves. And I don't think Mazza liked the hit Birchill put on him.
Yeah, then Massa, he ended up getting his hands up in the face of Birchill, and Birchill didn't like that, so he took exception as well, and I think it's probably just going to be 5 aside.
Yep.
And a 10-minute misconduct
Yep.
for fighting. But I wouldn't say that was all much of a fight. They threw the gloves out. There was some punch attempts thrown, but there wasn't much.
Yeah, there wasn't much to that fight. No punches landed, I don't believe, and
Master got the takedown though, and I know a lot of people think the takedown determines who wins the fight, and I guess in that case, when there's no punches thrown, it's pretty neutral. But
yeah, we're gonna get the replay here in just a second.
Yeah, it looks like in the replay, Massa was just kind of. Yep,
All right,
Massa was a little sore about the hit that Birchill was trying to throw. Birchill comes up, just kind of shoves him, and Massa gives a punch, gives a shove, and then Birchill obliges in. Some rights by Massa, none of them connect. They're kind of on the backside, and he gets a takedown. But a fight's a fight nonetheless, and it'll be 5 aside.
Mazza with a 5-minute major, and Birchill, 5-minute major, and both 10-minute misconducts. Back up through center ice comes Rough Riders bring it in. 2:07 left in the second period. Well, we've had a fight and a goal in this period. So,
See, there was a fight last night as well,
Yeah.
so we're 2 for 2
2 for
fights
2.
between these teams, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.
We're just missing some goals here. Last night was a 6-5 win for the Cedar Rapids, so 11 goals in a hockey game. That's a lot of goals in a hockey game. So Rough Riders bring it in. Nelson to the far side, tried to wrap it around, picked off by Riskaloff. Played down below the goal line. Hard hit on the near side. Buick with it. Back up through center ice to Keevan. Up through center ice it comes. Featon plays it for the Rough Riders to the far side. Dumps it down in. And Weilet's able to clear it up out of the zone himself. Boy, I don't think he got that up out of the zone. It was on our near side here where we couldn't see the blue line very well. I don't think he got it out of the zone. Roughriders keep it in, and now it goes up, pushing and shoving after the whistle again. Hiles in there for the Roughriders. I can't see who it is for the Buccaneers.
Buick's in there for the Bucks.
Buick's in there for the Buccaneers.
Hiles gives Buick a shove again. We still have a period to play and a game tomorrow between these teams.
Face off to the glove side of Wylet. Clark with the face off. And what? Everybody's looking up the clock. Clock looks good. Buccaneers win the face off. Barron sends the near side to Harper. Top of the circle. Hiles with it. Fires a shot on net. Saved by Wylet now. Gonna get some pushing and shoving going again. Tomorrow night's game should be good. I wish I could go, but I cannot make it to Cedar Rapids.
It looks like with that shoulder save that pushed the net off, they were looking short side, and I heard a posting there, but like it never went in. But the net went off its moorings, and have to reset that real quick.
Young with the face-off for Cedar Rapids. And for the Buccaneers, Clark. Roughriders win the face-off. They draw it back to Fig. Fires it on net. Save. Tipped by Young. But Wylet keeps it a 1-0 hockey game with 54 seconds remaining in the second.
Yeah, you've seen that a couple times where Vig gets it around the left point or top of the left circle. He tries to fire it, get a tip, and Young with the tip that time, like you said, saved by Wylet. Shots are 19-11 in favor of Cedar Rapids, but each team with more shots this period than they had last period. So it's heating up a little bit on the ice and on the scoreboard, even though it's still not much.
Young with the face-off for the Roughriders. Kernan with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Buccaneers win the face-off. They draw it to Kernan. Back up through center ice. Then over to the far side. And the Buccaneers chip it up out of the zone again. Young throws it right back in. The Buccaneers defensive side of the ice. Buccaneers catch up to it to Harper. Harper to the far side. Aldreski back to retrieve it. Kroll. Kroll has it for the Bucks. He's able to chip it up out of the zone. 24 seconds remaining in the period. Riders pick it up down below their own goaltender. Played on the near side. Buccaneers down on their offensive side of the ice. They got one more try at it here if they can break away from that corner. The Rough Riders come up with it. We got Shaw on top of Fig. Surprised nothing was called there as both players were struggling to get up. And that's going to do it. Well, after one or two periods of play, it's the Buccaneers 1, Cedar Rapids 0. The Buccaneers are being outshot by the Rough Riders 19-11. We got a goal tonight in that second period, and we had a fight. Well, we had a wrestling match. I think I've seen, I don't know. I've seen better tosses than that. So we had
Neither player able to really get some hands free.
We had a disagreement on the ice. Put it that way. We'll put it that way.
We got a lot of those.
Yes.
Grossclass lone goal in that period coming at the 3:41 mark, unassisted. He made that play happen all by himself. Picks it off at his own blue line and beats Rusley clean up top. But we had a lot of penalties, a lot of penalty minutes rather. We had Grossclass got a penalty, and then Birchill and Massa 5-minute major for fighting, just a 10-minute misconduct. They'll be back in quite some time. They'll probably be on at the end of the third period. But that's all the action we have so far. We have a fight, one goal, and a lot of saves. So we'll see what the third period brings us.
All right, Eliza and I are going to sign off here for the second intermission. Be back with third period action soon. Thanks for listening to Moines Buccaneer Hockey.
All right, we have a 1-0 game here at the Recplex in West Des Moines, where the Bucks are on top of the Roughriders, getting ready to start the third period here. But before we take a look at this game, let's look at the scoreboard around the USHL. Fargo is on top of Chicago 5-3 on the road. The USA Hockey and NTDP are in Green Bay up 4-3. Waterloo is in Lincoln, but Lincoln leads 2-1. Omaha is down 3-1 at home to Tri-City. Sioux Falls on top of Sioux City in Sioux City 2-1. And then Dubuque up 2-0 on Muskegon. And that's a clash of some of the top teams in the East, top teams in the USHL. We played last night. Dubuque won that one. But for now, 1-0 in this game heading into the third and final period of regulation here in Gross Class. The lone goal of this game so far came at the 3:41 mark. Unassisted, great individual effort by him. And then a lot of penalty minutes. Not a lot of penalties, but a lot of penalty minutes that period. Gross Class checking from behind. And then Birchill and Massa, 5 and a 10 for fighting. And that brings us to where we are now. Shots are in favor of Cedar Rapids, 19-11. But that period, the Roughriders had 11 shots in comparison to the Bucks, 8. The Bucks, they only had 3 shots in the first period. They had 8 in the second. So definitely they improved offensively in that second period when you look at what they did in the first. But I know Tony and I, we keep bringing up how yesterday's game, full of action, full of goals, full of scoring. And it's a little bit different. This game, only 1 goal so far. But on Farmers Appreciation Night for the Bucks, they lead 1-0 heading into the third. Remember, the jerseys auctioned off after tonight's game. Those are always fun to see. We get an auctioneer in here. Players, they hand off their jerseys. It's always cool to see them get all the money, donate it. But we were a little bit late getting the Zambonis on and off the ice, as we had some festivities on the ice between the second and third period there. And Wyland's waiting to get his net down to the right. They're working on that. But right now we have just under a minute until the final period of regulation starts between the Roughriders and the Buccaneers. Like Birchill and Massa are going to start in the box. They went down the tunnel as there was still about a couple minutes left in that second period when they got in their fight. They'll be getting comfortable in there. They have quite some time they'll be sitting in the box for. But 20 seconds until puck drops to start the final period of action here. And game 2 of 3 this weekend between these two teams. Once again, Cedar Rapids took the first game yesterday. 6-5 in overtime. Right now, the Bucks lead 1-0.
Buccaneers wearing their plaid jerseys going to your left on the screen. Rough Riders wearing their white jerseys going to your right on the screen. Shaw with the face-off for the Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers lose the face-off. Rough Riders draw it all the way back down to the Buccaneers' defensive side of the ice. Played on the near side. Back to the far side. Off the half boards. Here comes the Buccaneers up out of the zone. Played on the near side. Rough Riders intercept that. Bring it back. All the way up through center ice. Right-hand side. Hard hit. Langenshire made the hard hit. Played by Shaw. Dumped down into the Rough Riders in the rink. Ardreski chasing after it. Fig picks it up for the Rough Riders. In behind their own goaltender. Sent to the far side. Huff has it for the Rough Riders. Right up through center ice. Played by Young. Chips it into the Buccaneer into the rink. Peppenberg has it on the near side. Back to Huff at the blue line. Played to the near side. Half boards right back out to center ice. And that goes into the Buccaneer bench. And we get a whistle. Deladonna with the faceoff for the Buccaneers, won by the Roughriders. Williams sends it to the far side, across the blue line, off the half boards. The Buccaneers are able to get it up out of the zone, played to the near side, up to Briskalov. Briskalov across the blue line. Buccaneers stayed on side barely by Deladonna. Right out front, loose puck. Rusley with the save, back out to Thorpe. Fires a shot on net, pad save. And Rusley hangs on to it, and we get a whistle. 18:27 left in the third period.
You know, a little unfortunate there for the Bucks. Got caught in the skates, not able to get a clean shot off, but Rusley still had to come up big there at the end with the save from Thorpe from the point. But just for the Bucks, a little unfortunate there. Gets caught in the skates, caught in the bodies of a handful of players. And for the Roughriders, got a little bit of a break there. Not able to get a clean look off that.
Buccaneers with the face-off. Clark with the face-off. Back up through center ice. Back to the far side. Keevan with it. Hung onto it by Harper. Harper plays it up through center ice to Theo Kiss. Just out of reach of Clark. Rough Riders send it to the far side. Well, Eliza, I said at the beginning of that other period, second period, still a 1-0 hockey game after last night. I think they all got all their goals out of the way last night with 11 goals scored in a hockey game last night. I'm surprised this one's I said it was going to be a 4-2 game tonight. But we got a lot of goals to go there if we're going to get to a 4-2 hockey game tonight. Played on the near side. Rough Riders with it to the far side, left-handed side. Big off the far boards. Ridden off the puck. Rough Riders have it down in behind their own goaltender. Played to the far side, right up through center ice, across the blue line, down into the Buccaneer end of the rink. Fires a shot, never made it to the net. And here comes the Bucks up out of the zone. Blair with it for the Buccaneers, left there by Shaw. Shaw circles around, left-hand circle, top of side. Oh, Kroll took his eye off of it. Went all the way back down to the Buccaneer end of the rink. Kroll, I think in his mind, he was going to dump that back in the zone. And sometimes you take your eye off of it, your stick comes up too. So played on the near sides of Blair, up through center ice. Rough Riders sent it right back in. Back up, down into the Buccaneers to offensive side of the ice. All the way back up through center ice. Played to the far side. Kroll with it again. Intended pass to Dyer. Dyer's got to retrieve it in behind his own goaltender. Sold out crowd, kind of quiet in here tonight, right now. Buccaneers need to make something happen to get these fans into it. Kroll with it on Farmers Appreciation Night. Back up through center ice, sent over to the far side, played by Dyer. Played to the near side, back up through center ice, played by Nelson. Nelson has it at the blue line, sent to the far side. Puck goes down deep. We stall off with it. Back out to Young. To the far side. To the near side. Across the blue line, and Buccaneers not able to hang on to it. Rough Riders send it all the way back down, and we get a whistle on the icing, and the Buccaneers going to get offensive face-off. 15:28 of third period, 1-0 hockey game.
Yeah, kind of back and forth so far. You know, not much after you saw the one good look by Thorpe on the left. Romeo had a chance down on our right, but puck bobbled on him, didn't get a clean look off, and he was heading back to the bench. He was shaking his head, a little unpleased with himself. That's it. That was the last really good look we had.
Clark with the face-off for the Buccaneers to the glove side. Rusley sent to the far side, off the half boards, and Fig comes back up with it for the Rough Riders. Sent over to the far side. All the way up through center ice. Loose puck. Played on the near side. And back down into the Roughriders in the rink. Huff chasing after it for the Roughriders. He retrieves it off the left-hand corner. Pass to the far side. And the Buccaneers retrieve it. Come back up with it. Top of the circle. Looking for it. Intended pass for Clark. Just went out of reach of him. Played off the half board. Top of the left-hand circle. Loose puck. Clark hard into the boards. They'll kiss with it down below the goal line. Off the inboards. Loose puck still. No one getting control of it. Rusley even got a stick on that. Tried to bat it away. Sit to the far side. Clark staying with it. Centering pass up front. Huff picks it off for the Roughriders. And he clears it up out of the zone off the high glass. Momentary, just a small delay offsides there on the Roughriders. Kept them from going in the zone. They had to hesitate just for a split second, or Buccaneers able to bring it back out. Down on net, Rusley plays it in behind his own net. Roughriders pick it up. A long pass up through center ice. Across the blue line. Right-hand side, top of the circle. Fires a shot on net, saved by Weilet. Sent to the far side, kept in at the blue line. And the Roughriders walk the blue line. McNellis with it for the Roughriders. Fires it. Weilet with the save. Sent over to the far side to Blair. Loose puck at the blue line. Half board play by the Roughriders. Fires a shot. Just goes wide. A Weilet played on the near side. Hard hit by Zielinski. Right-hand corner. I think the Buccaneers got most of tired players off there as the play was continuing on. They were changing up some players slowly. And now the Roughriders are changing up some tired legs out there. I look for some quick line changes the rest of this period, Eliza, especially with 3 games this weekend, both teams. And I bet that tomorrow afternoon game, late afternoon game, 4 o'clock start time, will be a lot of short shifts. Right up through center ice and intended for Audreski.
You've seen that a lot tonight.
Yeah, we have seen that a lot tonight. Late on the near side, or Shaw has it off the inboard. Off the half boards now. Back out through center ice, right up through. Harper picks it off for the Buccaneers, but kept in by Roughriders. Buccaneers forced a turnover and send it right back in. Shaw chasing after it. Williams is going to catch up to it off the inboards for the Roughriders. Played on the near side. All the way up through center ice. Both teams a little sloppy play here. Deladonna chasing after it into the corner. 12:08 remaining in the third period. Roughriders out shooting the Buccaneers 20-13. But the Buccaneers are up 1-0 on the scoreboard. Vizcaloff with it. Walks it in behind the goaltender, right out front in the blue paint. Rusley just going to put a glove over it, not really a shot on net. And the Buccaneers going to get a media timeout here. 11:53 left in the third.
Yeah, Ostrowski is the most recent Buccaneer to fall victim to a breakout pass, being just out of reach. If he was able to corral that one in, he would have had a breakaway. And I feel like we said that multiple times so far tonight with Bucks, some of the Bucks players, where they get a pass that's just too far out in front of them, just beyond their stick, that would have resulted in odd man chances or breakaways for them. So Cedar Rapids looking to maybe tighten up a little bit on defense to prevent those. I mean, really haven't been bitten too badly by it. You had the Grossclass goal that came on a bit of an odd man rush there, but Grossclass made that play all by himself. Broke it up on the back check, and just took it and ran with it and roofed it past Rusley. So for the Bucks, just try to keep looking for those passes. Don't stall it because you're not getting the results, but just try to work on getting those tape-to-tape passes going.
Buccaneers offensive face-off here. 11:53 left in the third. And they are still enjoying their media timeout. Referees coming over and telling them, hey, we got to get going. But they got the dry erase board out there. Vizcaloff Deladonna, Buick, and Peppenberg out there for the Buccaneers. Popovich with the face-off for the Roughriders. Roughriders win the face-off on the left-hand side, back out through center ice. Peppenberg forces it back in. Roughriders got to dig it off the inboards by Huff. Played on the right-hand side. Deladonna with it, spins around. Leaves it there for Grossloss. Off the far board. Big plays it for the Roughriders. Played to the near side. Gee. Our mascot does that to me every time. Stands right next to me, pounds the stick on the floor right next to me, and gives me a heart attack every time. Eliza's laughing. I about jumped out of my shoes. Actually, I thought our equipment was all falling on the floor here when I heard that first bump. Buccaneers on the back check. Release it there for Keevan. Back up through center ice to Clark. Well, if I'm not awake yet, I'm awake now. So back to the near side. Kroll with it. Sent to the far side. Clark has it for the Buccaneers across the blue line. Dumps it down into the Roughriders into the ring. Back to the far side. Roughriders have it on the half boards. They bring it up through center ice, across the blue line, down into the Buccaneer in the ring. Liza, what was shots on net last night? Was there a bunch last night? Do you remember it all? We 34 shots, 20 for the Roughriders tonight, 14 for the Buccaneers. I don't remember looking last night. But definitely different story tonight. 1-0 hockey game per the 11 goals last night scored.
Yeah, last night the Bucks, they had 27 shots and Cedar Rapids at 30.
Wow. Just a totally night and day from both games from last night. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Buccaneers pick it up in behind their own goaltender, played to the near side.
I was going to say the Bucks haven't even had a power play chance yet tonight.
Oh, wow. That's a good stat to say. And that's icing on the Buccaneers. 9:42 of the third period. And Roughriders over 2 on the power play tonight. So besides the fight we had or the wrestling match we had on the ice, that's pretty much all we've had.
Yeah, and last night the Bucks had 6 chances on the power play. So Coach Carlson really had a meeting or something with the players. Said, hey, stop taking penalties, and it's worked so far. 6 last night, 0 tonight.
Kernan with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Vandenberg with the face-off for the Roughriders. Buccaneers win the face-off to the far side. Off the half boards. Played by Zelensky. And offsides. 9:32 of the third.
I say those first 8 minutes went by pretty quick, and now it's kind of like molasses the last 3 minutes or so. Just whistle, 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 some sloppy play. The Bucks looking to hold on to their 1-0 lead with 9:30 left. 9:32 to be exact.
Buccaneers win the face-off. They draw to the near side of Peppenberg. Peppenberg has to retrieve it back down below the goal line, and he dumps it up out of the zone. And that's going to get on net. No icing there. Play continues on. We needed one of those. We had a lot of whistles there for a few seconds. Roughriders bring it back the other way, 2-on-2. Blanchard has it. Isles fires it towards the net. Just went on the short side of Weilet. Loose puck right out in front. Weilet just scoops it away. Not really any shots on net. Played up through center ice to the far side. Off a high glass at the blue line. Buccaneers retrieve back to Buick, to Peppenberg. Long pass up the right-hand side. Leaves it there for Shaw. Roughriders send it up out of the zone. Right up through the Buccaneer logo, across the blue line. Top of circle, shot on net, right in the breadbasket of Weilet. And he makes the save. 8:33 of the third period. The Buccaneers up 1-0.
Now, only second shot of the period for the Roughriders so far, but the Bucks only have 3 themselves. Not a lot of shots at all so far this period when you look at the second, but this period's looking like the first one so far.
Buccaneers win the faceoff. Dyer plays it to the far side. Grossloss in there too. Off the half boards. Shot on net, saved by Weilet. Face off to the stick side of Weilet. Buccaneers changing up. Clark, Kiss, Steven, Barron out there. Harper out there for the Buccaneers. Donovan with the face off for the Roughriders. And the Roughriders lose the face off. Steven wins it. Back up to the near side. Eaton sends it right back in. Weilet plays it to the near side, leaves it there for Theo Kiss. Theo Kiss to the far side. Across the blue line, drop pass back. Keaton with it, fires it towards the net, just went wide. And Roughriders come up with it up out of the zone. Icing waved off. Play continues on. Had one linesman with his arm up, waiting for the icing. The other one waved it off. Shot on towards the net. Weilet down on all fours to make the save, or on the belly to make the save. Fires a shot again. Weilet with the save, and he hangs on to it. And the Buccaneers keep it a 1-0 hockey game. 7:32 of the third period. Roughriders 22 shots on net. The Buccaneers 14. Buccaneers changing it up. Kernan, Keevan, Kolinsky, Peppenberg out there for the Buccaneers. Flingerter and Yadreski, Shaw. I think we got one extra player out there. Who's going to come in? Looks like, well, now we got Kernan, and Kernan's headed to the bench.
I believe Burchell and Massa are leaving the box relatively soon. They're both standing and they're waiting to go, but you have to wait for the whistle.
Yep. I didn't write down what time they went in, but it's got to be getting close. Send over to the far side. I leave that up to the penalty box guys to keep track of all that. Roughriders play it to the far side. Odrowski with it across the blue line. Fires it tipped and goes up in to protect the netting.
And here they come.
Yeah, here they come.
Burchill and Massa heading to their respective benches.
Yep.
They were out for quite some time. You know, you have the 15 minutes, and then you also have intermission. So they're probably itching to get back into play. And that helps out the Roughriders. You have one of your defensemen back. They were down a defenseman for quite some time. And now with Massa back, both teams at full strength.
Yadrowski with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Wins the face-off. Shaw plays it on the near side. Flanger fires it. It got tipped, never made it to the net. Here comes the Roughriders up out of the zone. Stayed onside, barely stayed onside. Backhanded shot saved by Weilet, and he just scoops it up. And Weilet's been on fire here. 6:54 of the third. 1-0 hockey game. And Buccaneers and the Roughriders, quick line changes here late in the third.
Yeah, now the good thing for the Bucks is you can get your forward lines kind of back to how you want them with Burchill back. You have your full forward core back intact. We have Massa out on the ice for the Roughriders. He's at the top of the slot right now.
Clark with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Nelson in there for the Roughriders. Back out through center ice comes. Roughriders win the face-off, and they come in offsides. Puck came out of the zone. They tried to retrieve it right back in, and just a little bit too soon. 6:48 remaining.
Looks like Cedar Rapids, they're doing a line change. Romeo, Hiles, Blanchard out there.
They just made a line change, too. So
Yeah, they kept Fenton and Massa out there, though. You talk about quick line changes.
Yeah.
That one didn't take long at all.
No, not long at all. Theo Kuss with it for the Buccaneers. Leaves it there for Keevan. He sends it down. Rusley plays it in behind his own cage and back out to the near side. Shot on net by Keevan. Odd angle shot by Keevan, but Rusley with the save. Back up on the near side. Buccaneers play it at the opposite blue line. Romeo has it for the Roughriders. Left-hand circle. Fires it on net. Wylet with the save. Off the half boards. Here comes the Buccaneers. Keevan with it. Keevan to Kiss. To the far side to Clark. Down below to Keevan. To the backside. And Romeo is able to chip it up out of the zone. Buccaneers played by Harper. Sent right back in. Buccaneers making a line change. Blair, Burchill, Barron out there for the Bucks. Kernan and Harper. And the puck comes all the way down on the right-hand circle on the Buccaneers' defensive side of the ice. Able to bring it up out of the side zone to Kernan, to the far side, down their offensive side. Fires it, blocked in front by Fig. Down off the inboards to the far side. Here comes the Roughriders up out of the zone. All the way down on the Buccaneer in the rink. Centering pass right down front, shot by Wylet, save. Loose puck. Oh my goodness, Wylet with a heck of a save to keep it a 1-0 hockey game. 5:22 of the third period.
The Bucks are going to be penalized, it looks like, however.
Well, we've killed off 2 power plays tonight already by the Roughriders, and we'll see if we can make a third one stick. As Burchill back into the penalty box for the Buccaneers.
What a save by Wylet.
Yeah,
wow.
what a save. They might be going to discuss something here. And Burchill definitely into the penalty box. Boy, I don't know.
That was big. The defenseman with that had the best chance.
Eliza paused that and put it over the head of the goalie there. And see, let's see how close it went.
No, looking at something here.
Yeah, they are going to look at something.
I think Vig was signaling that he thought maybe a hand went over the puck, possibly. No?
No,
I don't know what it's under review for. If I'm being perfectly honest.
Oh, we didn't show it over there. Let's do it again here so we show them.
Yeah, so let's watch from above. I don't see what they could be reviewing.
I don't either.
One more time. Wylet just kicks it out.
Yeah,
McNellis not able to get the rebound there.
Wasn't even close to going in.
Not close to being in. I thought maybe.
Oh, there's a good shot, yeah.
I thought maybe they were going to look at did a hand cover in the crease. I don't believe a hand ever touched it in the crease.
I don't think so either.
I slowed it down here. We're watching slow motion. Vig gets interfered from behind, and no goal. I don't know what the.
I don't know.
I think they were maybe reviewing to see if it crossed the goal line, but it wasn't close.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic save.
Yeah.
Vig with the initial break. Burchill fouls him from behind. McNellis gets the rebound that was sitting right there. Wylet keeps his legs stretched out. Able to get the save. And now the Bucks with a big penalty kill.
Yeah.
5:22 left in the game. Burchill in the box.
Well, something good here for the next 2 minutes. They can just throw the puck at the other end of the ice. No ice in there. So
Unfortunately, they've been using Burchill on the penalty kill.
yeah. They won the faceoff. The Buccaneers won the faceoff, sent it all the way down. Kernan, Clark, Dyer, and Thorpe out there for the Buccaneers on the penalty kill. Topovich brings it down into the Roughriders into the ring. Mahaza with it. Fires it, shot tipped and up into the high in the protective netting. 5 minutes remaining in the third period. 1:37 left on the penalty kill here for the Buccaneers.
5 minutes exactly to go. You just need to keep the puck out of your net if you're the Bucks. Hold the lead, maintain the lead. Because if you're able to kill this penalty off, then not a lot of time the Roughriders have enough to pull the goalie.
Buccaneers win the faceoff, leave it there for Thorpe off the near glass and sends it off the Buccaneer bench. And we get a whistle. 1:32 left on the penalty kill. 4:54 left in the third.
It's unfortunate when that happens. You know, the Bucks get a clean win. They send it down, but hit someone on the bench, and it goes back into your own
Yep,
zone, so you have to do it again.
Do it one more time. Win the face-off here with Clark. Aerosmith lane tonight. Do it again one more time. Clark going to take the face-off again. Can't see who that is for the Roughriders. Thorpe sends it up out of the zone all the way back in. Wesley leaves it there off the end boards. Back on the near side. Popovich with it for the Roughriders. Sends it to the far side. Buccaneers. Sloppy play for the Roughriders. And the Buccaneers pick it up, send it right back in. Right up through Buccaneer logo played on the near side across the blue line. And Roughriders come in offside.
Yeah, head coach Mark Carlson not happy. I was keeping an eye on him, and after the failed entrance that was cleared down by the Bucs, he just puts his head in his hands and says some things you probably shouldn't say on the broadcast, but unhappy with how it's gone so far. 59 seconds left on the penalty kill for the Bucs.
Roughriders win the faceoff back to Fig. Across the blue line, sends it down in deep. Play to the near side on the half boards. Yardreski in there for the Buccaneers.
The referee's shaking up in front of us. Takaji St. Pierre.
Oh, boy. We got a lineman taken up here.
I was watching that.
Sure
He fell down, and he
fell down.
wobbly, shaking it off, and Frazier, the referee, pointed at him.
He's still hurting. He's hurting. He is hurting. He's had a rough night. I think he's been down a couple times tonight.
Yeah, we saw
One of the
he went Rosenberg earlier. He took a tumble, and Tagaji St. Pierre a little more shaken up than Rosenberg was. But looks like he'll be okay. He has his hands on his knees right now at the blue line.
He wants this 4 minutes to go by just as quick as we do.
If it's a pace it's been the last about 6-7 minutes, it's gonna be here till
Keep
midnight.
eye on him over there. See, hey, he was able to blow the whistle there. He is slow though. Boy, I don't know.
Yeah, something's up. He's hurting bad.
He's hurting. He's going to tough it out, though, and see what happens. Yeah, he's looking up the clock, shaking his hands just a little bit. All right, well, for about the fifth time in this penalty kill unit here for the Buccaneers, another face-off to the glove side of Wylet. Clark with the face-off for the Buccaneers. Roughriders win the face-off back to the blue line. Almost didn't keep it in. Right out in front, shot on net, saved by Wylet. Sent off in behind the net. Right back out in front. Shot, save again, and Wylet off the shoulder into the protective netting. And we get another defensive face-off here.
And he had to do that stickless as well. He didn't have the stick in his hands.
Face-off to the stick side of Wylet. Buccaneers win the face-off. Let's get it out of the zone this time. Oh, they do right down the middle, just like they needed to do.
20 seconds left. PK.
3:39 remaining in third. Played on the near side. Convent with it for the Roughriders. Buccaneers able to clear it out, and that's a good, nice. Oh my gosh, up into the stands. This penalty kill is taking forever.
And unfortunately for the Bucs, now that you get
Another.
you have to do a defensive zone face-off.
It's going to be on the opposite side this time.
Exactly. You just had the chance to clear it down, kill the rest of the penalty. Now you have to do another face-off in your own zone, and a delay game, not a penalty here in the USHL for clearing it out. Oh no, of course in the AHL, NHL, some other leagues, you see that would be a penalty, but not in the USHL.
Buccaneers not able to win that face-off. Played on the near side, off the half boards, top of the right-hand circle. Shot towards the net, saved by Weilet, and just went wide of the net. Roughriders almost had the tying goal there late on the power play. Fires up over the head of Weilet, sent over to the far side. Roughriders play it down below the half boards, now off the end board, sent over to the far side. Buccaneers trying to clear it out of the zone. They do finally get it up out of the zone with 3 minutes remaining in the period. Now the Buccaneers come up with it down below the blue line. Burchill sends it down in deep, played to the far side. And the Roughriders still penalty free tonight besides the major fight we had earlier. Is that correct, Eliza? Yeah.
Yep.
Still penalty free, so Buccaneers.
Besides the matching
yeah.
liners at the beginning of the game as well.
So no power. Oh, Buccaneers 0 for 0 on the power play because they haven't had a power play tonight. That's kind of unheard of anymore, but well-disciplined team by the Roughriders. Roughriders right up through center ice, down into the Buccaneer in the rink. Shot on that, saved by Weilet. And the Roughriders score and make it a 1-1 hockey game.
Looks like Nelson is going to be the one with the goal.
Yeah, Nelson with the goal.
He had the winner last night, and the referee's talking right now.
They might have been goalie. Man, they ran into the goalie either after the puck went in or right before the puck went in. So
it'll be curious to see how this plays out.
They haven't singled a goal yet. They are going to talk about it, and they're going to have the other linesmen come over, and Liza's going to try to pull it up here and see what we think. So far,
yeah, it was kind of a floater from inside the point that went by Weiler. We'll see if there's any contact made.
They are still talking about it.
Oh.
Well, looks like the puck is coming out to center ice. And it is a tying goal for the Roughriders. Not even going to review it.
Yep, it's a good goal.
And
that one just got by Weiler.
Yep.
And the contact was made afterwards.
The contact came out after the goal went in.
Yep. The shot came in. Contact was made after the puck went in the net. It's going to be a good goal. One more time. Goes in. Right past Weiler. And Vig was right there. He's really put a print on the game so far, getting in front of the goal.
Kernan with the faceoff for the Buccaneers.
So it looks like Vig is going to get credited the goal. Nelson's going to get the assist.
Number 24 gets the assist too on that.
Yep, Jovebny will get the secondary assist.
Roughriders with it off the far side, off the half board. Well, I think we got to repeat it last night if we're going to, might be going into overtime here. Buccaneers send it towards the net, just went wide by Rusley. Back to the near side, right up through center ice, played by Clark. Clark at center ice, chips it off the high glass. Back out to the near side. Barron with it. Burchill with a hard hit. Back to the near side. Roughriders play it to the far side off the half boards. Back up through center ice. Clark with it to Harper. 1 minute remaining in the period. Buccaneers with it on the near side. Played by Harper to Clark. Back out to Barron. And here comes Deladonna trying to win it in regulation. Not able to move the puck forward. Sent to the far side. Buccaneers dump it in the left-hand corner, making the line change. Shaw comes out for the Buccaneers. Yardreski out there too. Thorpe, Dyer, and Keevan out there now for the Buccaneers. Hard hit to the far side. Dyer with the hit. 25 seconds remaining in the period before we go into overtime. And that goes into the Buccaneer bench. 20.6 seconds remaining in the third period. if tied after 3 periods, short intermission, 2 or 3 minute intermission, and then they'll play 3-on-3 hockey.
You know, that you mentioned the game yesterday went to overtime. The second time we were here against the Roughriders this season back in January, they went to overtime. I believe that was also a 6-5 final as well that the Roughriders took in OT. So we'll see what happens here. 20 seconds left. Still plenty of time for either team to get a goal in regulation.
Puck goes all the way down. The Roughriders into the rink. Roughriders pick it up in behind their own goaltender. Played on the near side. Chipped up out of the zone. Thorpe gets a piece of it for the Bucks. And he sends it right back in with 3 seconds remaining, and that's going to do it. After 3 periods of play, it's the Buccaneers 1, Cedar Rapids 1. 26 shots on net for Cedar Rapids, 15 for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, that period, shots were in favor of Cedar Rapids, 7-4. So another period for the Bucks where they have under 5 shots. 3 in the first, 4 there in the third, 8 in the second. But Roughriders, late goal by them. Maxim Vig from Heath Nelson and Hans Martin Yolfebny gives the Roughriders a tying goal to send it to overtime.
2-minute intermission here for the Buccaneers and the Roughriders.
You know, it's been a while since we've seen an overtime game here at home. The last time the Bucks had an overtime game at home, it was back-to-back. It actually came against the Roughriders, had the first game, but then the next night against the Lincoln Stars, that's when Deladonna had the overtime winner. It was electric goal. It was down to our right. A very solid game. It was a 2-1 finish, and this game is going to end up being a 2-1 finish no matter what. So we'll see what happens here. But overtime, something we haven't seen much here at home this season.
Go ahead. I was going to say, you got any scores from around the league real quick? If you want to do that, I don't know what you're looking for, but
I was looking at. I don't want to say that it's going to go to a shootout, but I'm just thinking about the shootout because the Bucks have only been in the shootout one time this season.
wow,
So I was
back in October.
way back when. And I was thinking about that, but we got to get through overtime first. And the Bucks in overtime this season. Not been awful at all by any means, but you think about last night. Cedar Rapids able to get it. Just Nelson got lost in coverage a little bit, able to break through the Buccaneers players, get a goal. So you're looking to see who's going to start for the Bucks out tonight. For the Roughriders, it looks like it's going to be Ostapovich, Massa, and Mentz, and then Barron, Keevan, and I can't see that, Clark.
Clark out there for
So
the Bucks.
2 defensemen out there for the Roughriders.
And the goalies do switch in. They changed that years ago in USHL. Clark wins the faceoff. Here comes Clark. 1-0 coming back the other way. Oh, and Clark got taken down and no call. Absolutely no call.
Wow.
Wow. Roughriders with it. Down in behind the Buccaneers goaltender. Played on the far side at the blue line. Back up through center ice. Keevan with it now for the Buccaneers. He gets around and Keevan works it all the way in. Shot. Wow. Well, how did that not go in?
That was trickling.
Oh,
my
gosh.
goodness.
Well,
What a start.
Eliza, you're going to have to, if you can pause that on that goalie, if we get a chance, we'll have to see how that did not go in. It definitely went underneath the goaltender's pads and everything else and had to walk on that red line and did not go in. Roughriders top of the circle, leaves it there. I saw a shot just missed the top shelf and off the backboards. And here comes the Buccaneers, play it on the near side. Barron with it. Down below the goal line and behind his own goaltender, Weilet. Back up through center ice. Clark at it at the blue line. Dobson direction. Clark looking. Circles back around. Harper comes off the bench for the Buccaneers. Clark, Zelensky out there. Back to play it to Harper. Retrieves it all the way back in. A big game of keep away right now.
That's what overtime is now.
Yep, that's all it is. A big game of keep away. Vernon with it, getting the pressure on him by the Roughriders. You don't want to give up possession of the puck at all. And, man, tried to thread the needle there on the near side. Big has it down below the goal line. Back to the near side. Now the Roughriders with a big game of keep away. Fires a shot on net. Rusley with the save. And the Buccaneers send it back down. And they actually put their own shot on net. Back up to center ice. Some action there as Wylet played that way out of his crease.
He was being a little aggressive.
Back on the near side, played by Nelson. Nelson picks it up in behind his own goaltender. Nelson has it now, full head of steam on the near side. Back on the near side, the Buccaneer fans are getting into it. Got the Let's Go Bucks chant going. Back on the near side, Nelson with it for the Roughriders, left-hand side. And putting the pressure on him is Belladonna. Roughriders going to have to retrieve it all the way back down on their defensive side of the ice. Played to the far side. And the Buccaneers chip it off. Back up to Belladonna. Belladonna all alone. 1-0. Shot on that, save by Rusley.
He's played hero before against Cedar Rapids, but not at that moment. Rusley stones him on the most important breakaway of the game so far. And what action have we had here in overtime, especially to start it off. Clark with the immediate jump. You thought he got tripped a little bit. No call. Their referees tend to keep their whistles put away a little more in overtime. But right now, an important face-off. Kostrevsky for the Bucks taking it.
On the glove side, Rusley. Roughriders win the face-off. They draw it to the near side. All the way up through center ice. Big with it for the Roughriders. Fires a shot on net, and Wylet with the save.
Yeah, good speed by Vig. I mentioned earlier, he's had himself a great night offensively. He's gotten a lot of looks, a lot of shots. He had the game-tying goal, and he just got a look in overtime there for the Roughriders. And Barron will stay out on the ice for the Bucks, but Clark and Keevan come out, and they started overtime. And remember, Clark had that good look, so gave him a little bit of time to rest, and we'll see what happens here. Gilvebny at the faceoff with Clark.
To the stick side of Wylet. Buccaneers win the faceoff. They draw to the far side. Keevan chasing after it. Keevan all alone. Loses a tire. Back at it. Barron looking. Barron could not get a shot off. Played to the far side. Here comes the Roughriders. 2-on-1 coming back the other way. On the right-hand side across the blue line. Intended for Fig. Fires a shot on net. Saved by Wylet. And it did not go in. The goal light came on, but that did not go in. Played to the near side. Roughriders have it at the blue line. Fig keeps a hold of it. High slot. And the Buccaneers able to get it up out of the zone. Here we come. 2-on-1 coming back. Keevan and Clark. Over to Clark. Save. Score! Baby, yeah! The Buccaneers win in overtime 2-1.
What a game. The Roughriders had so many good looks. Wylet comes up big. He stoned Vig again. And then back they come. Keevan and Clark.
Who got that goal?
Clark. Keevan fed Clark on the 2-on-1. And he puts it home to give the Bucks the win. 2-1 in overtime. Back-to-back games in overtime. The Roughriders took yesterday 6-5. Tonight the Bucks take it 2-1. Clark, overtime winner.
Who had our other goal tonight?
Gross had the first goal of the game, unassisted for the Bucks. And then Clark from Keevan. as they salute right at center ice. We'll get our 3 stars coming up in just a moment. We'll get the replay of the goal in just a moment as well.
I still like to see that save that
Rusley had at the very start.
roughly at the beginning of that. I like to see how close it was. My phone was blowing up. Everybody's asking me how close that was, but we haven't had a chance to go back and look at it. And that might be later on tonight when we sit down and have an adult beverage, go back and look and see how close that was. But boy, what a game here for the Buccaneers tonight. They could win at home, sold out crowd, Farmers Appreciation Night. They win 2-1. They got one more tomorrow night. It was not very chippy tonight at all, as much as I thought it was going to be after last night's game.
Still tomorrow.
Yep, still tomorrow. But, I mean, after last night's game, a low-scoring game. I mean, 6 goals or 11 goals scored in that game last night with the Cedar Rapids coming out on top. And so,
Okay, this game, almost the polar opposite, but also pretty similar in the manner where it went to overtime. It was a close game. But the Buccaneers take this one 2-1. They pick up first win since last weekend against Sioux Falls. Both games here at home. And the Buccaneers pick up 2 points. Here come the 3 stars.
Max Weiler, 3rd star of the game.
3rd star of the game, Max Weiler. 27 saves on 28 shots. Grossclaw, 2nd star, picked up his first goal since October 20th. Big goal for him.
Andrew Clark.
Andrew Clark to the game winner. That is the 1st star of the game. Let's take a look at the goal for everyone that's sticking around.
Let's get that.
Let's watch this.
Hang on, Eliza. Okay, now we're good.
2-on-1, right over. Good shot
Do
there.
that one more time. I didn't even get to see it. Here we go.
Kevin over to.
Wow, what a goal.
Good shot. Yeah. Vebny, the forward, was back playing defense, and game winner, Kevin to Clark, puts it home for the Buccaneers. To cap off their 1 game here at home this weekend. They'll be back tomorrow, 4:05 in Cedar Rapids. Next time we will see the Bucs on home ice Tuesday, March 25th, for a game against the Waterloo Blackhawks. Another Dupaco Cowbell Cup matchup.
All right, thank you so much for listening on YouTube tonight, and thanks for watching on Flow Sports. I hope my wife and I can go over to Dubuque next weekend, but be kind of up in the air next Friday. Hopefully be able to bring you a away broadcast. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, not able to go to the Cedar Rapids tomorrow afternoon. Was kind of planning on it, but I have a funeral to go to now. So be back on the air when Eliza said, and we'll be out of here. Thanks.